Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Harbour Station for Saturday Night Sports here on TVMB for AHL action between the St. John Flames and the Fredericton Canadiens. Jim, the St. John Flames won Thursday night, beat Lowell, the top-place team in the division, 3-2 in overtime, which was a nice win for the Flames to get that monkey off their back, or as Bive says, the gorilla off his back.
Exactly.
What can we kind of expect tonight? They didn't make the trip on Friday night, so they did basically have a day off, but they were stuck in an iron lung for about 8-10 hours thereabouts. So that's a long time in the iron lung. So it's a well-deserved rest when they get back in town yesterday around 4 o'clock.
No question. I don't know if the extra day will do them good or do them bad. We'll wait for about another 6 minutes here, and we're going to find out. The thing is with the St. John Flames last Saturday night against Fredericton, they played well. They banged, they crashed, they kept the pace with Fredericton. They just couldn't get the lucky bounces. Plus, Jose Theodore was a huge mountain that they tried to climb, just couldn't get over the top. He is the hottest goaltender in the AHL right now. Rolly Melanson, the goaltending coach for the Montreal Canadiens, is in town. So you can bet that Jose is going to be on his game tonight. So if the Flames can continue to crash and bang with Fredericton, Rocky Thompson is going to be sadly missed from this lineup tonight. But I think the Flames can try to keep momentum going here with that 3-2 overtime win against first-place Lock Monsters. They can pull out a win tonight.
Well, the likes of Jeff Cowan and Steve Bégin in the lineup tonight, that's pretty well all the muscle they're going to need tonight. They got Matt Odette in the lineup tonight too. They don't have any spare bodies to scratch tonight. So
exactly.
So we could really expect a physical game tonight. I'm hoping we do, because it'll get the fans into it. I mean, the fight last week between Terry Ryan and Steve Bégin. Yeah. The crowd was right into that. It was a great spirited fight. Unfortunately, Terry Ryan was on the sad end of that one. So St. John did win on Thursday night, as we said, and hopefully they can carry on tonight. Eric Landry is just a house on fire right now. He's got 2 goals in the last 2 games, and he's just doing great right now. He's under the doghouse, I guess, with Rick Vive, hopefully anyway.
That'll be a big key. If Landry can, he wanted to prove Vive wrong. There's no question about that. So far he has. Landry's a big key. Martin St. Louis is a big key. It's going to be interesting to see how they come out tonight.
It definitely is. Well, the St. John Flames are hot, and we're ready to roll. Aaron Kenny's ready to roll. Let's pass it up to him right now for the play-by-play.
Starting in goal for the Fredericton Canadiens, to our right, it's Jose Theodore. Brett Clark, just down from Montreal, starts on defense, along with Stefan Robida. Up front, it's their checking line of Marc Bocage, Jonathan DeLille, and Sylvain Blouin. For the Flames, to our left, it's Igor Karpenko. Greg Pankowitz playing his 3rd game in a St. John uniform. Up front, flanked by Ronald Petrovicki and Sergei Varlamov. Chris O'Sullivan and Matt Odette are on defense. And your starting lineups, as always, a presentation of Greenlee Shoe on Bentley Street off Chesley Drive. Greenlee Shoe is the world's greatest shoe store. Flora Bickford is our contestant in the Keystone Kelly's first goal of the game contest. She has chosen Eric Landry to open the scoring here this evening. The referee again tonight is Mark Joannette. The linesmen are Chuck McTagg and Bobby Jones, and we appear to have a momentary delay because the goal light behind Igor Karpenko is not working. And of course the Flames are hoping that for the first and third periods at least there's no reason to turn that light on. And a special hello to those of you this evening joining us on Saturday Night Sports on TVNB. Along with Steve Ryan, I'm Aaron Kennedy. This game is underway, and it's the Canadiens who control. Brett Clark dumps it into the St. John zone. Karpenko steers it aside for Chris O'Sullivan, and O'Sullivan will charge up ice. Flames from our left to right. Ahead for Petrovicki. He chases after it into the right corner. It's shot behind the Fredericton net by Theodore. Petrovicki now on the left side. Varlamov comes up with it, moves it for Pankowitz. Pankowitz looking in the high slot for O'Sullivan, but the Fredericton defender Sylvain Blouin plays it aside. DeLille to center. Blouin dumps it in right corner. Back after it is O'Sullivan. He moves in behind the net, pressured by Bocage. That creates a turnover. Blouin in front with a wrist shot just wide on the stick side. Varlamov roughed up by Robida as Odette and Blouin have words, and they're going to drop the gloves, and it doesn't take long for our first act of pugilism tonight. 45 seconds, and we talked about it in our pregame show on the radio, that the absence of Rocky Thompson tonight could make the Canadiens a lot bigger and a lot tougher than they've been in the past. Blouin is someone who's had no interest in Rocky Thompson, but he has dropped the gloves here with Matt Odette. Neither player has thrown a punch that has landed. To this point, they're hanging on to one another's forearms, and now both players trying to get their arms loose as the linesmen Jones and McTagg watch intently. And I'm not sure if they're ready to step in or not. They might as well, because the guys aren't throwing punches. Now Odette landed a short little left jab, and now the linesmen will intervene. So much ado about nothing there. The Canadiens in their game last night at home against Portland had 3 fights in the first period. Dave Morissette, the man known as the Moose, was involved in 2 of them. And Darcy Harris was in the other one. Harris is a scratch tonight. Fighting Majors will be the story here at the 45-second mark. I would doubt that there would be any extra penalties assessed there by Mark Chouinette.
Well, you know, the Bluin is definitely going to be going tonight. He's going to be playing very aggressive. This guy's got 191 penalty minutes so far, and that's a lot. That's an awful lot. Pretty aggressive, likes to drop the gloves. Matt Odette, occasionally he should be doing that. He's got to play tough and take care of his own end, and you know, that's going to happen tonight, especially with Rocky out. Someone's going to have to step up. I know Jody Shelley's here. Didn't see much from Jody that night. Played a pretty good hockey game, I thought. Took care of his own end, but we'll definitely see some rough stuff from both of these teams tonight, I would think.
I would suspect, if I were a gambling man,
and you are,
I used to be, that Jody Shelley might have an interest in Dave Morissette tonight. So that's what we call a foreshadow. This were an English literature class. We'll see what comes of that. So 45 seconds, the time of the Fighting Majors against Blouin and Odette. Terry Ryan is out of the Fredericton lineup tonight. He has the flu and is actually, at least during the warm-up, was sleeping on the Fredericton bus. So that means that the number 1 line for the Canadiens has been disrupted. Boyd Olsen moves up and steps on the left wing with Eric Hood and Martin Gendron. Here's Gendron with a rink-wide pass for Olsen, moving in on the left side. Olsen centering it. Hood the shot. Pad saved by Igor Karpenko. Healy gobbles it up for the Flames. A minute 15 gone, opening period, no score. Olsen knocks Healy off the puck, centers. Gendron the shot. It's blocked by Healy as he compensates for the error by sliding in front of that shot. And the Flames dump at the length of the ice. Theodore nearly knocked off the puck by Chris Clark. Coming up with it is Gendron. He'll get it to center. Hood chases after it, chips it past Cooper. Hood is in pursuit. Ellick gets there first. Mickey Ellick drops it behind the St. John net for Cooper. Had a goal and an assist on Landry's overtime winner on Thursday night. Here's Gendron at the St. John line. Tried to chip it for Alexei Loshkin, but Cooper comes up with it. Flames nearly got caught there as there were 2 Canadiens at the St. John blue line. Martin St. Louis, goalless in 9 games. Skates into the Fredericton zone. Pushes it past Miloslav Gurin into the right corner. Mark Hussey takes a whack from St. Louis as he dishes it off, looking for Gurin. Brigley centers. Hussey is there, feeds it up ice. Alexei Loshkin dumps it into the St. John zone. 2:10 gone in the opening period, still scoreless. Puck at the right point, St. John zone. Hussey the shot, tipped by King, and Karpenko makes the save. Landry now moves it for David Cooper. The Flames top line, Landry, St. Louis, and Brigley, a +6 on Thursday night. Landry moving in, shot, pad save Theodore, and he will cover up with 2 minutes and 31 seconds gone in the opening period. There is no score.
Well, Flames looking a little ragged in their own end, and that's something that we talked about at the pregame show the other night, and they played well. They played very well in their own end. A couple of miscues in the first period, but overall, did the things that they're supposed to do. Mix the puck, move the puck out, chip it out if you have to. Good defense, and played pretty aggressive, and took the body a couple of times, but still with confidence, and you need that confidence in your own end, and that's what the Flames have to have, especially with guys like Cooper and O'Sullivan, who are aggressive guys and will move the puck up the ice. But you've got to watch it in your own end, and that's something we're going to be watching for the Flames tonight.
Jose Theodore in his last 3 starts is undefeated, 2 wins and a tie with a 1.95 goals against average. And included in those 3 games was a 34 save performance, first star plaudits here in Fredericton's win last Saturday night. Here's Brett Clark getting the puck behind the St. John net. O'Sullivan forces it ahead. Darryl Scoville bumped by DeLille. DeLille on the right side moves it for Morissette in front. Bocage had it knocked away by Pankowitz. Scoville to center, tried to feed it for Varlamov. That's poked away by Robida. Now Robida collided with his teammate DeLille, and they both hit the ice, and we have a fight. Ronald Petrovicki dropping the gloves with Jonathan DeLille. It was Petrovicki who hit the Fredericton player, and then DeLille and Robida ran into one another, and DeLille's upset. He's taken a couple of right hands here from Petrovicki. Now they're in very tight, embracing one another, and this fight appears to be over as the linesman will intervene, and we seem like soothsayers. For those of you on Baxter's Flames Hockey on Country 94, we talked about this very thing during our pregame show and in the coaches show for Dobson Chrysler Dodge Jeep. We knew this game was going to be more physical than many of the previous games between these two clubs have been, and we knew that the absence of Rocky Thompson was going to have a lot to do with that.
Absolutely.
Petrovicki hit DeLille cleanly, and then DeLille collided with his teammate Robida. They both went down, and then DeLille and Petrovicki dropped the gloves, but the Canadiens are a brazen bunch with Rocky Thompson in San Jose tonight.
Well, they're going to try to come in and make a statement, and they're going to be playing aggressive. They played well here the last 3 or 4 games, and they're going to be aggressive. As we said, Ron Petrovicki played a heck of a game the other night. This line with he, Varlamov, and Greg Pankowitz was all over the ice, played well on both ends of the ice. He got a big goal, but not only that, he played tough. He finished off a few checks. Something that we haven't seen a lot from a lot of the Flames players this year. Steve Bégin has been doing it lately, but Petrovicki, give him the credit. He's playing very well lately, and a scrap early. Gotta love him.
Petrovicki did not travel with the team on their odyssey late Thursday night and early yesterday because he's expecting the birth of his first child, so he was allowed to stay home, and the birth has not yet happened. So Petrovicki is back in the lineup tonight, and it was a nice bonus for him. He didn't miss a game because it was postponed last night in Lowell.
A little scrap might induce it.
Oh, that's awful. Fighting majors against DeLille and Petrovicki at 3:04. Steve Ryan and Aaron Kennedy at Harbor Station. This game is still scoreless. The Flames and the Canadiens. Charron's pass up ice. Cowan loses it at the Fredericton blue line. Now here's Eric Hood. Slides it into the St. John's zone. Scoville is back in behind his net. The Flames skating from our left to right as we view the action here at Harbor Station. And Scoville, the rookie from Merrimack, plays it for Cowan at center. He skates through the big circle now into the attacking zone. Jeff Cowan on the left wing. Tried to dart around Robida, lost the puck, gets it back in the left corner. Robida has him pinned against the end boards. Hood looking for the loose puck. He comes up with it, and he fires it ahead. Scoville keeps it in right point. Bégin moves it for Clark. Clark dropping it for Bégin. Bégin on the right side, forces it in behind the net. Theodore comes out, leaves it for Robida. And Stefan Robida controls. Right wing pass for Martin Gendron, the Fredericton captain. Ahead for Boyd Olsen. It hops away from him into the St. John zone. Karpenko comes out, fires it off the glass. Cowan controls left side, and the Flames start up ice 3-on-2, led by Jeff Cowan. Cowan now for Ellick, moving in. Ellick had it knocked away by Francis Bouillon, Fredericton's only all-star. Now Landry in the slot can't get a good shot away as Gendron forced it off of his stick. That was a nice play by Bouillon, knocking the puck away from Ellick, and we've come to expect that from Francis Bouillon in his first season in the AHL. Now Landry racing in on the left side, guarded by Bouillon. Drops it, Ellick, shot, tipped! And it changes direction, but Theodore is able to make the save as Eric Landry was flattened in front. There'll be a Fredericton penalty.
Pretty high-intensity play so far. Both teams a little chippy, end-to-end, and they're making a good game out of it so far. I certainly like what Mickey Ellick did the other night. I thought he played a pretty strong game, really taking care of his own end. A couple of not-so-big rushes up the ice, but moves the puck up the ice well, and certainly this is a bonus. They're not counting on Mickey to really take control back there, but I thought he played a very good game tonight, and is showing a little bit of jump here tonight also.
Roughing is the call against Alain Nasreddine at 4:35. He, of course, came to the Canadiens organization in the Jeff Hackett-Jocelyn Thibault trade earlier in the year. Nasreddine had played with the Portland Pirates earlier in the season. Nasreddine tonight playing his 9th game for Fredericton, so he gets the gate for roughing at 4:35. The Flames go to work on the power play. They were 0 for 5 with the man advantage in the win over Lowell on Thursday. In their last 10 games, the Flames have just 1 power play goal in 41 chances. It's a captain sub power play. Pankowitz, Landry, St. Louis, Cooper, and O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan from the point with his shot. That one just wide, low on the stick side. Nice low shot, though. Always provides the potential for a tip. Now O'Sullivan from the right point. Moves it on the boards for St. Louis. Still scoreless. St. Louis into the corner. Pankowitz in front. St. Louis can't accept the pass. Cooper on the left side moves it behind the goal for Greg Pankowitz. He has an assist in each of his first 2 games. St. Louis was knocked down in front. No penalty. Cooper took the shot. Theodore stops it and the Canadiens will clear. A minute 20 to go in the power play. St. Louis moving in on the right side. St. Louis drops it for O'Sullivan. In front, Theodore's down, and the save is made, and then the puck is cleared by Scott King. 5.5 minutes gone, opening period, no score. Flames and the Canadiens. Shots are even at 2. David Cooper had a goal the other night, his 7th of the season for St. John, and played one of his better games. Dumps it into the Fredericton zone. Brigley on the left side takes a hit from Robida. Clark on his backhand switches to the forehand and whacks it to center. Hooper back at his own line, cross ice for O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan headmans it for Brigley, 3-on-2, Brigley moving in. Brigley stops on the left side, drops it for O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan steps away from King, drops it neatly for Brigley. Back to O'Sullivan, left point, cross ice for Ellick, top of the right circle. Hankowitz in front, back to O'Sullivan. For Ellick, one-timer, he ripped it wide. Brigley in front off the end boards, can't come up with it. Robida, who lost his stick, knocked it aside. Now Brigley behind the net. King gives up his stick to Robida. Shot by O'Sullivan, stopped by Theodore. Robida using King's stick, tries to clear, can't. O'Sullivan moving in, across for Ellick in the right circle. 8 seconds in the power play, back to the point. Varlamov is there. Wrist shot, doesn't get through. King falls on the puck and throws it ahead. The penalty to Nasreddine is over. Hankowitz into the Fredericton zone. Hankowitz looking for Brigley. Brigley into the left corner, stopped sharply. Pressured by Robida. Brigley trying to move it along the left wing boards. Varlamov comes in to help out, but the Canadians come up with it. Jean-Francois Houle ahead for Eric Hood on the left wing. Into the St. John zone for Nasreddine. Backhand stopped by Karpenko. Ellick for St. John. Great pace to this one. 7 minutes gone. Ellick drives it in right on net. Theodore, the routine save. And Hussey, who was the GOAT in Fredericton's loss last night, the former Flame, skates it to center, sends it into the St. John zone. Olsen is taken down by Bégin. There will be a Flames penalty. Mark Hussey last night trying to clear the Fredericton zone on a penalty kill near the side of the net, tried to go cross crease and up the gut, and it caromed off of Jean-Pierre Dumas, a rookie with whom we've been critical of earlier in the season with good reason. But now he has 19 goals on the campaign and has really turned his game around.
Yeah, Dumont's lighting it up, but Mark Hussey almost pulling off a Steve Smith. Smith banked it in off Grant Fuhrer back in '86. But boy, what a taste of this game so far. Lots of good hits. Jose Theodore coming up with some big saves. Good to see Karpenko get the big save early. Both goaltenders being tested, and both teams come here to play tonight. And fans are in store for a treat of a hockey game. Great pace so far.
Bégin obstruction hooking at 7:15. That's the call from Marc Joannette, who had a conversation with Rick Vive and Jeff Perry before the game. That was probably the most polite conversation those three gentlemen have had, because the other night, whenever Perry and Vive were talking to Joannette, they were screaming at him from the bench. Here's a lead pass to Morissette, moving in all alone. Backhandy hit the crossbar. Dave Morissette at the St. John line snuck in all alone on a breakaway on the power play, and he backhanded it off the crossbar. Back the other way, Scoville looking for Cowan. That one's kicked aside by Theodore, and the Canadians control. How does Morissette get that open at the blue line? The Flames forgot about him. Now Bouillon into the St. John zone, drops it for Morissette. Charon knocks it away. Healy skates after it to the Fredericton line. Robida gets there first. Robida remembers Healy from a major league elbow earlier in the year at the Aiken Center. Now Gendron into the St. John zone. Hood in the right corner with a minute to go in the power play. Loshkin behind the net. Left side, Martin Gendron to the point. Gurin, wrist shot, kicked away by Matt Odette. Healy to the boards, fires it out. And to be fair, if you have someone coming in on a power play, on a breakaway, and you're the Fredericton Canadiens, you don't really want it to be Dave Morissette. Offside are the Canadians at the St. John blue line.
Well, I'm sure Karpenko was happy to see the Moose break down the middle of the ice after accepting that pass, but boy, no one, I don't think anyone expected the Moose to be that far in behind the Flames defense, but he certainly was there. You're going to have to watch this team. Fredericton, we know about Hood and others, great speed. The defense, Julian and Robida can get the puck up the ice. Guerin playing very well as of late also, but these guys have a pretty good transition game, rely on their speed. Flames are going to have to be very aware of that tonight.
Game is still scoreless as Morissette tried to break the 0-0 deadlock. Spent the last 4 seasons in the International League, 2 with Houston and 2 with Minnesota. 4 goals, 2 goals, 3 goals, 1 goal.
Pretty well says it all.
But he is a tough customer and a fan favorite in Fredericton. Gurin to center, dumps it into the St. John zone. Karpenko wandering out, took a bump from Bocage from the point. Gurin with a wrist shot. Karpenko scrambles to get back into position as the Flames dump it down ice. Chuck McTagg signaled a potential icing, but of course the Flames are short-handed, and the veteran Bobby Jones sets McTagg straight as Gurin has the puck behind the Fredericton net. Still scoreless here. Gurin to center, drives it in. It caroms around the boards to the right side. Martin Saint-Louis is bumped by Loshkin. Loshkin frees it up for Bocage. Penalty to Bégin is over. Both teams are 0 for 1 with the man advantage. Charon behind the St. John net. Swings it ahead for Eric Landry. Landry plays it off the boards to center. Landry is still practicing without a visor on, but he is wearing it during the games. Gurin in front of his own bench, gave it away to Petrovicki. He can't step past Loshkin, however. Now Loshkin is bumped by Petrovicki. Aaron Asham backhands the puck into the St. John zone. O'Sullivan will carry it ahead for Petrovicki into Fredericton territory. Petrovicki drops it for Scoville, moving into the left corner. Scoville in behind the net, centers! Pankowitz got a whack at it, but Theodore is down, and he will cover up. We should mention right now, before we go much further, just in case you happen to hear any stories about the Flames' road trip and the road conditions as they tried to make it to Lowell, and I've already heard some erroneous information circulating throughout the building here tonight. There were no incidents involving the Flames bus. The bus never slid off the road. They never wound up in a ditch. There were no accidents, nothing of that sort transpired during the road trip, so if you hear otherwise, you're hearing false information. Off the face-off. Cooper with a wrist shot right on Theodore, the save. Rebound! Jody Shelley can't get the backhander away, and the Canadiens will start up ice as Shelley has words with Morissette, and here they go. It didn't take long, and they're firing right hands, both players. Shelley has lost his helmet, and then Shelley got wrestled to the ice by Dave Morissette, and this now Morissette trying to take a right hand at Jody Shelley after the linesman had moved in, but that really didn't take all that long, and our foreshadow a little earlier came to fruition. 10:07 fighting majors against Shelley and Morissette, the third fight of the period.
Automatic, it was going to happen, and we're approaching the Flames blue line. Shelley turned, he's got a gash over his, looks like over his left eye, kind of in the middle of the forehead, but he got the first couple in, got a couple of good shots in on the big Moose, but the Moose came back as soon as Shelley lost his helmet and got a couple in, looks like on the noggin, and might give a little bit of an edge there to Morissette, but pretty good spirited scrap.
Now, we talked about the Flames who had gone 10 games without a fighting major prior to last Saturday's game between these two clubs, and then of course Bégin had that lopsided decision over Ryan, but we've already seen 3 fights in this game to this point. It started with Blouin and Odette 45 seconds in, then DeLille and Petrovicki at 3:04, and now Morissette and Shelley at 10:07. And I would suspect we'll see more before this night is through. And it's amazing, Rocky Thompson's absence, what it does to opposition teams coming into this building.
It's very obvious what it's done. It's made the Fredericton team much braver. We'll definitely see some more rough stuff. Flames have to keep their head in that regard, though.
Still no score as the faceoff comes up to Karpenko's stick side. Blouin and Odette are jawing with one another once again as Mark Schwarnett skates over and barks at perhaps the would-be combatants. Off the faceoff, Clark with a blast. That one skipped off a body in behind the St. John net. Karpenko comes out, pushes it to the corner. Bocage now for DeLille, top of the left circle. A drop for Clark. Clark, this shot. Karpenko directs it over the glass, and that is a souvenir. Brett Clark is playing in his first game of the season for Fredericton, and his demotion from Montreal came as a bit of a surprise to everyone in the Fredericton organization. No one really knew this was going to happen. Taking a look at the box scores in Montreal's win over Washington last night, Clark was listed as a healthy scratch in that game. He played 37 games with Montreal this year, 2 goals and 2 assists for 4 points, 14 penalty minutes, and he was a -3. Clark is a former University of Maine Black Bear, spent the 96-97 season with the Canadian national team last year, 20 games in Fredericton and 40 games in Montreal, but Clark is certainly a nifty addition to the Fredericton blue line, a team that has really gotten a lot better over the last couple of weeks. Bouillon at center, bumped by Bégin. There's a penalty coming up against St. John, and much like it was on Thursday night, a lot of the penalties are penalties that I just don't see as a play-by-play guy watching the puck. All of a sudden, Joannette's arm is in the air and goaltenders are racing to the bench, and that was the case certainly on Thursday night, and that's the case on that call right there. And the Flames don't even know who the penalty's against. Now it'll be Eric Charron, who took 3 minors on Thursday, heading off here at 10:28.
Rick Vive in the pregame show talked about the undisciplined penalties that the Flames did take, especially in the second period. Eric Charron, who I thought played a pretty good game the other night, he did take the 3 penalties. He took one definitely undisciplined penalty that he's going to have to rethink. But boy, Mark Joannette buckling down again tonight and really trying to take the flow, it seems, out of this game.
Fredericton's power play is 19th in the AHL, and there are only 19 teams in the league. 12.6% success rate. Obstruction holding the stick against Charron at 10:28. The Canadiens have to be careful they don't set an AHL record for the most futile power play in a regular season. Offside are the Canadiens at the St. John blue line. The Hamilton Bulldogs own that dubious mark. A couple of years ago, they had a power play that clicked just 12.54% of the time.
That's bad.
In the 96-97 season. Right now, the Canadiens are hovering around 12.6%. They've scored 27 power play goals, the fewest in the league by far. Every other team has at least 30 power play goals so far. And the Flames, counting the penalty kill earlier in this period, have now successfully killed off 20 of their last 21 shorthanded situations. If the Flames could only get the power play clicking like the penalty kill, they'd be all set. Under 9 minutes remaining in the opening period, no score. Eric Hood gets the puck into the St. John zone. Back to pick it up behind the net is O'Sullivan. He loses it. It's Asham on the left side. Asham turns it over to Scoville. Now Bégin plays it all the way down ice. Theodore ventures out. He'll swing it off the boards for Bouillon. Bouillon leads all AHL defensemen in scoring with 12 goals. Asham controls for the Canadiens. They skate from our right to left. Asham to the St. John line. Drops it for the captain, Gendron, on the left side. Gendron moves it behind the net. Hood can't catch up with it. Robida pinches in. Forces it behind the net. O'Sullivan takes a hit from Asham. Loose puck in the right corner. Scooped up by Hood. He's hit by Scoville. O'Sullivan controls, and he'll advance it for Pankowitz. 1-against-1 at the Fredericton line. He'll fire it on net. Theodore the save. Pankowitz nearly came in and scooped up the rebound, but Robida is able to recover, and he plays it up ice. Bocage to the St. John line. 20 seconds in the power play. He rolls it to the right corner. Blouin moves it behind the net. Cooper gets there first. He's pressured by Blouin and Bocage. Bocage has the puck. Cooper knocks it aside. Blouin right corner. To the point for Gurant. Back to Blouin, top of the right circle. 5 seconds in the power play. Blouin, the shot, pad saved by Karpenko, and Cooper gets the puck out. Penalty to Eric Charron is over. He's out of the box, skating to the Fredericton line. Charron moving in, turns, shoots. That one just missed, and it bounces off the side of the net. Charron looked like he was going to make a backhanded attempt, and then spun to the forehand and nearly fooled Theodore. Back the other way, here's Clark, splitting the defense, and the backhand is turned away by Karpenko. Clark went right through Odette and Ellick. Now all alone in front was Blouin. He can't accept the pass, and here come the Flames. Saloui with Landry. Saloui! What a play by Gurin as he forced the puck away from Martin Saloui. Under 7 minutes remaining in an exciting first period. There's no score. O'Sullivan to center, skates away from Houle, fires it in, turned aside by Theodore. Saloui forces it to the right corner. King is there. And he'll flip it up, but Landry knocks it down with a high stick. And play is stopped with 6:39 remaining. In a pretty entertaining first period, there's still no score.
Yeah, I think if Mark Joannette leaves these guys alone and lets them play the type of hockey that I think we can expect to see here tonight, you're going to see some really good entertaining stuff. Igor Karpenko out there playing the puck. He's doing a much better job than he did at the first of the year. We marveled at how Jean Giguère could handle the puck, but on that particular penalty kill, Karpenko saw the spot and dumped it down the ice, and he's playing much more confident. And wow, what a job he's doing. Very deserving of the first start the other night, and has played very well tonight so far.
Face off outside the Fredericton blue line. This game is still scoreless. Flames out shooting the Canadiens 8-7. Bouillon throws it back to Alain Nasreddine out to center. Healy gets it to Clark. He'll move it into the left wing corner in the Fredericton zone. Nasreddine is back to pick it up. Forced off the puck by Bégin, but Bouillon is there behind the Fredericton net, and he controls. Now Olsen Takes the puck, drops it for Bouillon in front of the Fredericton net for Nasreddine. Clark ran into him. Now Gendron dumps it into the St. John zone. Karpenko out behind the net, leaves it for Scoville. Hood was tripped up by Clark, and I'm surprised there's no penalty.
Got away with
Scoville moving into the Fredericton zone. Scoville tried to go past Hussey, but the puck is knocked away. And Olsen heads up ice for the baby Habs. Olsen dropping it. A shot by Gurin skips off of Chiron wide. Scoville has it. Olsen has to be pleased that Ryan's out of the lineup tonight because he gained big time by being moved to the top line with Hood, the team's leading scorer, and Martin Gendron, an AHL sniper from way back. Hussey fires it in on net. Karpenko kicks it to the corner. O'Sullivan plays it off the boards for Greg Pankowitz. Pankowitz ahead for Petrovicki. He steers it into the Fredericton zone. Theodore is out. He'll bank it off the glass, and it's picked up by Aaron Asham. No score, the Canadiens. Asham to King, back to Asham into the St. John zone with a shot. That one's ripped wide. Hussey on the right side takes a hit from Petrovicki, who's playing with fire again tonight. Loshkin backhands it in behind the net. Cooper fires it off the glass, and down the ice it goes. This will be icing unless Petrovicki can outrace two Fredericton defenders, Clark and Hussey, and he cannot, and it is an icing call against St. John. Flames were joking today that Ronald Petrovicki should have more jump than any other player in white because he didn't have to take part in the long bus trip Thursday night and into Friday, and he has had pretty good speed and energy here tonight.
That's probably true, but we liked what he did the other night also, and a great addition. Pankowitz certainly has given Petrovicki second life, and with the speed of Varlamov and with the toughness, as we're seeing in the last 3 or 4 games of Ron Petrovicki, gifted goal scorer, got a good set of hands on him. The guy's not afraid to mix it up, as evidenced by a scrap here tonight. But that line's playing very well. They can get Landry, Brigley, and St. Louis a little more offense out of that line. Things look good for the Flames.
Off the face-off in the St. John zone, Chris O'Sullivan has the puck. He's an AHL All-Star, one of 2 from St. John. St. Louis is the other. O'Sullivan steps away from DeLille neatly. Now for Pankowitz into the Fredericton zone. Pankowitz into the left corner. Petrovicki takes charge. He's forced off the puck. Bocage moves it up ice, and here come the Canadiens. 3 against 2. DeLille drops it for Clark. He'll whack it to the right corner as Petrovicki got back on the back check and forced Clark to just dump it off. Robida from the right point shoots it in behind the net. Blouin is there. He lets it roll to Bocage. Bocage steps in front, dishes off left side. DeLille. Odette is without a stick. Clark carries to the left corner, centers Blouin. Can't get the shot away as Odette grabs a hold of him. And Odette ready for another bout with Blouin, but not right now. DeLille on the left side. Odette has to be careful he doesn't take a penalty, and that's a probable occurrence when a defenseman doesn't have his stick. Bocage behind the St. John net. Forces it into the left corner. DeLille gets away from O'Sullivan. DeLille tried to cycle it for Blouin, but O'Sullivan is there. He'll play it for Varlamov. And Varlamov heads up ice with Petrovicki to his right. Varlamov moving in, loses the handle. Robida ahead at center. Gendron turns it over to Ellick. 3:33 remaining in a scoreless first period. Landry over the Fredericton line for Ellick. Shot. Theodore the save. And the rebound is scooped up by Alain Nasreddine. Nasreddine fires it out to center. Ellick can't knock it away. Now he forces it past Gendron. Clark picks up the loose puck at center, moving in for Healy. Healy shooting, Theodore the save, and the rebound was knocked wide by a St. John forward who just got hammered by Olsen, and I believe it's Eric Landry who came off the bench and joined the play, and that's not the first time tonight that Landry's nearly decapitated as he got hammered into the net, which is then dislodged. And it's a roughing penalty coming up against Boyd Olsen.
Tough guy, Eric Landry, and he knows how to go to the net. Obviously, Healy taking the shot from the high slot, and Jose Theodore making the save. But Eric Landry going hard to the net, as he does, and being really hit hard by Olsen from behind. And he's going to the box for 2. Flames going to get a chance here with 3:09 left in the first. No score on the scoreboard with the power play chance.
16:51, roughing against Olsen. It's a captain sub power play. Whenever the Flames score a power play goal, somebody wins. A regular stake sub courtesy of Captain Sub, home of the best stake sub in town. Aaron Kennedy, Steve Ryan, glad to have you with us on this Saturday night for American Hockey League action from Harbor Station in St. John. And we say hello to those of you tuned in to Saturday Night Sports on TVNB, and those of you with us on Baxter's Flames Hockey on Country 94. A special hello to those of you tuning in tonight from inside the building. There is no score with 3 minutes remaining in the opening period. The Flames with their second power play chance of the night. David Cooper dumps it into the Fredericton zone. Theodore comes out, backhands it to center, and O'Sullivan had to chip it away from Houle. Now it's Landry moving in for St. Louis. St. Louis for Pankowitz. Shot. A wrister that's wide on the stick side. Cooper to the point for O'Sullivan. Right wing boards. Landry in front for St. Louis. He loses it, but there'll be another penalty coming up against the Canadiens. Elbowing is the call against Jean-Francois Houle, the son of Montreal general manager Régent Houle. So Houle will head off, elbowing at 17:22. So the Flames have a 5-on-3 for 89 seconds.
Well, I'll tell you, nice to see a break for a change. Marc Jeannette deciding to send off the son of Reggie, Jean-Francois, and the Flames are going on to a two-man advantage here, and something you haven't seen a lot of. Lots of firepower. Flames looking good. We talked about how Fredericton Canadiens have a pretty good transition game. Flames showing that that they can produce some of that themselves, and really skating tonight, getting lots of jump, and certainly wanting to be more aggressive in the Fredericton zone, and they're doing that, and they're looking much more together as a team tonight.
Flames trying to get their defense a little more involved in the offense tonight. The Flames have 10 shots on net. 8 of them have been taken by defensemen. Healy and Pankowitz, the only forwards with shots. 5-on-3 on the power play for Captain Sub. It's Cooper for O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan between the circles. Cooper top of the right circle. Back to O'Sullivan for Pankowitz. Shot. Theodore got a piece of that one into the right corner. St. Louis takes a slash from Bocage. Cooper from the point. Moving in. Shot. Save Theodore. Hot rebound to O'Sullivan. Now for Cooper left circle. David Cooper for St. Louis. One-timer. Theodore got across, but that one ripped off the side of the net. O'Sullivan for St. Louis in the right circle. 50 seconds in the 5-on-3. Cooper, left point in front. St. Louis dishes off. Pankowitz with an open net. Fired it 5 feet high. Now Cooper with a blast. And that one bounces off a defender and out. Pankowitz on the feed from St. Louis. Can't bury it. O'Sullivan into the Fredericton zone on the right side. 25 seconds in the two-man advantage. Cooper for O'Sullivan. Chris O'Sullivan back to Cooper. O'Sullivan one-timer. Theodore with the blocker save. St. Louis now on the right side. Drops it to O'Sullivan. Back to St. Louis. Right face-off dot. St. Louis back to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan moves it for Cooper down low. Back to O'Sullivan. Shot. Glove saved by Theodore. 5 seconds left in the penalty to Olsen. 36 seconds left in the penalty to Houle. 1:14 to go in the period, as there's a bit of a mix-up here involving Alain Azradine and Travis Brigley. And Brigley is a guy who would love to get involved offensively for St. John. He has gone 9 games without a goal. 7 goals thus far for Travis Brigley. Last year in his rookie season from Lethbridge of the Western League, he scored 17 times. 1:14 to go in the period. The game is still scoreless. Coming up in our first intermission, for both those tuning in to Baxter's Flames Hockey and for those of you viewing on TVNB Saturday Night Sports, we'll chat with Flames head coach Rick Vaive, the youngest captain in Toronto Maple Leafs history and the first 50-goal scorer in Toronto Maple Leafs history. Good trivia question is, who was the second 50-goal scorer in Maple Leafs history? Former Fredericton Canadian, as a matter of fact, Gary Lehman. But with Maple Leaf Gardens closing 4 weeks from tonight, we will talk to Rick Vaive about some of his memories. He does a pretty good Paul Morris impression, a longtime public address announcer at Maple Leaf Gardens. That's coming up in our first intermission for both our radio listeners and our television viewers. Petrovicki sends it to the left point. Alec for Sharon with a shot. Theodore the save. Varlamov tried to knock the rebound out of midair, but the Canadiens clear it to the line, not out. First penalty's over. 25 seconds left in the minor to Houle. There's going to be a St. John penalty against Travis Brigley for holding Alain Azradine, and Brigley will head off.
Well, you can almost see that coming. Jeannette, a lot of referees will look for that tug or slash on the team that has the power play, the two-man advantage. Boy, Jose Theodore playing exceptionally confident tonight. The glove saves he's making, or when he turns away something with the blocker, he's not overstepping. His feet movement is absolutely perfect, and you can tell that this guy is, he almost relishes a power play against him. I'll tell you, he's an NHL goaltender, and he's playing with just huge confidence. Flames going to have a tough time getting one by this guy tonight, the way he's playing in there. Very strong.
Wrigley holding at 19:01. Here's Healy moving in off the faceoff for Bégin. Wrist shot. That one's just wide. Healy in behind the net, forced off the puck by Robida. 4 skaters aside here for another 7 seconds, then the Canadiens will have a power play. It'll be their 3rd of the evening, still scoreless. Gendron just onside at center, drops it for Robida. Robida to the St. John line, gets it to Hood. The penalty to Houle is over. He heads to the bench, and Jonathan DeLille joins the power play with half a minute left in the period. Robida on the right side, into the St. John zone, he'll dump it in. Karpenko behind the net, backhands it ahead, knocked down in the corner by Hood. In front, Gendron, the shot, that one hits Scoville. Gendron gets it back for Hood. To the point, Gurin with his shot. Karpenko made the save, and Bégin will fire it off the boards and out. And a memo to Igor Karpenko, stay in the net.
Oh, yeah.
Robida drives it in, and Karpenko makes the save, but Hood was forced offside by Steve Bégin. Good defensive play, not all that legal, and more often than not will result in a obstruction penalty, but not in that instance. 6 seconds to go in the period, but Karpenko made a bad decision coming out behind the net. He had the puck, and then he didn't look behind him and just backhanded it to the corner, and Hood was there, and he got it in front, and then Gendron had a good scoring opportunity. But you've got to be certain, especially on the penalty kill, when you come out and play the puck. Face off in neutral ice outside the St. John line. 6 seconds to go in the period. Gurin will move it for Robida. He'll fire it in. Karpenko will make the glove save, and the first period will come to a close. And an entertaining frame she was. Flames and the Canadiens, 0-0.
Absolutely, very entertaining, very up-tempo. Both teams skating hard, very aggressive in both ends. Few penalties, Flames out shooting the Habs 15-10. Nothing after one, but I was very impressed with both goaltenders. Karpenko did a good job, but once again, Jose Theodore coming up, and man, we talked about the confidence that this guy has, and it shows. He challenges everybody. And, you know, you can see it in his glove saves. He doesn't make, you know, big spectacular glove saves. He makes everything look pretty easy. But I'll tell you, the Flames showing some good pressure. Lots of shots coming, as we mentioned before, from the defenseman. And that's where the power play is geared for. Try to get it back to Cooper and O'Sullivan. But overall, both teams had good jump and a very entertaining first period.
15, Eric Healy. 2 minutes each for roughing.
12 of St. John's 15 shots taken by defensemen. Wow. The only exceptions to that rule, Greg Pankowitz had 2 and Eric Healy had 1. Fredericton had 10 shots against Igor Karpenko. No score after 1 at Harbor Station. A conversation with Rick Vise reminiscing about Maple Leaf Gardens coming up for both our television viewers and our radio listeners during our first intermission. This is Saturday Night Sports on TVNB and Baxter's Flames Hockey on Country 9.
And after 20 minutes to play in the game between St. John and Fredericton, we have no score, but Jim, a rather spirited game, 3 fights. Fans are right into this, but average 55 to 6,000 here tonight. It's a pretty good game so far.
No question, back and forth. The boys are banging. The boys are trying to set up plays. 23 minutes and penalties on either side. You know, Morissette was out there looking to dance with a few people. I like the way the Flames have come out in this period. They've come out and shown them that, hey, maybe you did beat us 4-1 last weekend, but it's not going to happen again this weekend. Goaltenders both are playing extremely well. Jose Theodore, like we mentioned in the pregame show, hottest goaltender in the league. It looks like Igor Karpenko took a little couple of notes out of his chapter the past couple of weeks because Karpenko's on his game as well. So
we noticed Rolly Melanson's here in attendance tonight, goaltending coach. Maybe he was talking to Karpenko, and Karpenko just said, you know, hey, give me some pointers here to beat these guys anyway. But the Flames fired 15 shots at the Canadiens, and they were good quality shots, and Theodore stopped every one of them. Same with Karpenko, he faced 10, but you know, they weren't real good quality shots. A lot of them from out to the blue line from the defenseman. Nothing in real close. Morissette showed some real nifty talent there. He put on a clinic. Those hands are not only for duking it out, but he can do something with the puck too.
Yeah, well, when you hang around the blue line like that, you're bound to find a puck somewhere on your stick and make a break for the net. He should have had that goal, no question about it. Hit the iron. Stuff like that happens, so what are you going to do? The thing that the Flames probably, if anything, negative that they're in the dressing room talking about right now is they did have a 5-on-3 advantage for almost 3 minutes at the latter stages of the first period. Couldn't put the puck home. Good opportunities, but like we said, and we keep saying, Jose Theodore is on his game and has been for the past week, ever since being sent down from Montreal. Rolly Melanson in the crowd. I'm telling you, if Jose keeps playing this way, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in La Belle Province real soon.
Well, I think so. I mean, Montreal is a similar logjam with goaltenders as Calgary is right now. Calgary's got 5 goaltenders sitting up there now. And with Moss coming back next week, Giguère's coming back. I mean, he's back right now. And Trefilov, you know, he's day-to-day. He may be back in the very near future, too. So we're definitely going to see somebody down here. Either Trefilov or Giguère for a reconditioning stint, or maybe Moss down for a reconditioning stint. And fans here in this city are going to go wild when they see those two guys come back here.
No question about it. We are going to see some new faces with Thompson gone. Of course, a lot of people said who's going to come in to replace him. Jody Shelley's up, playing fairly well, showing his presence out there. But the goaltending situation, we get back to that. Brathwaite, he's been playing outstanding up top for Calgary, no question about that. Giguère is feeling better. Moss is on the mend. The only question mark up there, goaltending-wise, right now, is Kenny Reggett. How is he feeling? We've talked about this on several occasions. I think what the mind wants and the body wants to do are two separate things with Kenny Reggett. Age is starting to show his face up in Calgary for Mr. Reggett. So I don't know how many more games he's got left in him. They say that he might be able to squeeze in another 20 before the season's out, but I think that's being very optimistic.
We're talking to Aaron Kennedy earlier in the week, and he was saying about Reggett, you know, of course, he is the voice of the Flames and hears more than what we know about. But he was saying that Reggett's career is pretty well done right now. The back just can't heal, and that's an injury that's just going to keep coming back and coming back and coming back. And, you know, like we say, the age factor plays a role there. He's not that old by any standard, but by goaltender standards, you're flopping around there. That's mine's taking an awful twist and turn in there. So
no question about it. He's faced more, as you like to say on occasion, he's faced more rubber than a dead skunk out on the highway on certain nights.
Well, I stole that one from Don Cherry, so you know, that guy gets a good one. So
yeah, but we should make a note too for all the Fredericton fans out there. Terry Ryan, the reason he's not in the lineup tonight, bad bout of the flu. When the boys were out on the ice warming up, he was out in the bus, and that's where he is right now, passed out in the back of the bus. Extremely bad case of the flu, so Terry Ryan will not be in this lineup tonight for Fredericton.
And also with the addition of Jody Shelley up from the East Coast League from Johnstown, I think he took on a little more than he could chew there with Dave Morissette. Morissette, just an experienced all-around enforcer, I guess. And Morissette got some good punches in there. Jody got a couple in on him, but it's just that's a little more than what he can handle.
Well, no question. I mean, that's the reason they brought Jody Shelley up. It's no great mystery. They weren't counting on this guy to score 5 goals for them tonight. They knew Morissette was going to be in the lineup, and with the absence of Thompson, you got to bring an enforcer, and you just have to. Steve Beauchamp, of course, he's played as well around last weekend when they played Fredericton. He showed his physical presence, but try to put a guy like Beauchamp up against Morissette, not going to happen. So they did bring Shelley up, and that's why he is up here. Yeah, he took a couple of good licks, but I'm sure in the second period he'll be out there looking for Morissette to see if he can find him again.
Well, I don't know. I think the Flames right now, they can handle themselves. Matt Odette had a good spirited fight out there. I mean, it was a little bit of a slug match, but Matt Odette was landing them in there. Petrovicki was about the most entertaining fight, I guess, we had this period. But
no question.
Enough of the fighting right now. It has been pretty good hockey. And like we've been saying, Jose Theodore is just a brick wall out there. Nobody get anything by him. Martin St. Louis hit the post there on the power play, the 5-on-3. He was sitting on the back door, and they fed it across to him from the slot. But he tried to be Johnny on the spot, but he just wasn't.
Well, like we've said on many occasions, ever since he did get called down last weekend, the question mark in my mind, being a Montreal Canadiens fan, was why is this guy down here playing in Fredericton? Reconditioning stint, so they say. Well, so far he looks pretty reconditioned to me. Like I said, this guy's been playing. He's the hottest goaltender in the AHL. Michel Therrien, I'm sure, doesn't want to have to send him back to Montreal, because the way he's been playing, that just gives the defense all that more confidence, and it gives the offense that much more confidence. You can go out there, you can crash, you can bang center ice, make those plays, try to make the nifty pass, because you know you've got that backstop back there, and he can stop them when they need to.
Well, enough of your Canadians. Let's go down the other end of the ice there and talk about Igor Karpenko for a little bit. He's just been phenomenal. There's some shots there in the screen. There was a lot of traffic in front of him. I don't know how he saw a couple of them there. He kicked out the pad and saw it. Of course, you know, he's only 5 foot and a little bit, so you know, he when he crouches down, he's almost down on the ice anyway when he stands. So,
exactly.
So he can see the puck pretty well. He can stand there in a crouch position, and he's a you know, you can call him a stand-up goaltender, but when he does stand up, like I say, he's only 5 foot and a little bit of change there.
Exactly.
So you know, for him to be a stand-up goaltender, he's like some goaltenders when they're down in the butterfly position.
He's played extremely well, and I mean, of course, everybody remembers last year the 3 games he played when we picked him up from the East Coast League to pull us through that stretch. 2 shutouts, only gave up 1 goal in the 3 games. Simply outstanding. Got off to a bit of a rough start this year. Really didn't know his role. Not a lot of veteran leadership in the goaltending situation down here in St. John. Giguère was here, of course. But then, of course, he was hauled up to the parent club very quickly before the season got underway. So, you know, Igor had a little growing pains down here to try to get underway, get that feeling of confidence underneath his belt. I think he's done it extremely well. I mean, Eisler's played well, Karpenko's played well. I think the rotational system vibe is going with it, and it's worked fairly good for him. They went through that bad stretch, 8-game winless streak. Of course, nobody wanted to see that. You're exactly right. Karpenko is playing well. He's hot tonight, and let's hope that trend continues for the Flames fans.
Well, I mean, Karpenko and Eisler have 2 pretty big shoes to fill there. I mean, you know, when Moss was here, and you know, Giguère was here. So, but anyway, we were speaking to Rick Vaive after the game on Thursday night, and also Eric Landry. So we're going to take it to that interview right now.
Well, like I said, did anybody see where that gorilla went that jumped off my back there? No, it was a big win for us, no question about that. And it's been a long time since we got any points for that matter. But you know, I thought it was a good effort. We played a little undisciplined in the second period and took a couple of bad penalties and spent a lot of time in the penalty box, over 10 minutes shorthanded. But penalty killers did a heck of a job, and we just persevered. We got a break in overtime, and we were able to win. It's just a relief, really, and you can tell in the locker room. I think it's a big relief too. Everybody feels a lot better right now than we have been feeling as lately.
Something to build on, I imagine.
Well, I certainly hope so, and you know, I think maybe that's what we needed. We needed a break like that in overtime to win a hockey game, and maybe, like you say, something to feed off of, and I'm sure that our guys, like I said, feel much better now than they did before the game, and maybe that is something that's, you know, that we needed.
Persevered in the second period, coach, with I think it was 7-1 in terms of penalties. Comment on that?
Well, I think, I mean, you know, there's a couple of questionable ones, I thought, but overall we got a little bit undisciplined. We took some bad penalties, and we can't afford to do that, at least not like that. I mean, we're lucky we got away with it tonight, and our penalty killing was good, and we got good goaltending, and we got a couple of breaks, and that was the difference. That's what we got tonight that we haven't been getting as the last 7-8 games.
How big was this one heading? It's a 3-game. It's a tough sled. You've got to head down to Lowell, 3 games in 3 nights, and against divisional teams. Obviously, the winning must be even that much bigger. Well,
there's no question about that, and you know, as I told him, you can't win all 3 in a row if you don't win the first one. You know, it's simple math, but you know, it certainly helps when you win that first one. There's no question. Heading out on the road with a good positive feeling, and knowing that you got to come back here Saturday, it's awfully good to win that first one.
Just describe what happened. Just a dump in? Are you hoping for a bounce over a stick or something like that?
You know, when we got the face-off and things got rolling, you know, we got a little setup play, you know, like center goes take the room of the winger, and then we just did that, and we had Coops had no play, and he just flipped in the air because we got 2 wingers having speed and going up, and we just got a lucky bounce, and we ended up scoring.
Were you thinking a lot of things going through your mind when you walked in? Because you didn't have a lot of space to make up a lot of things. What kind of move you're going to make?
You know, it was, I don't even know how it got in. I just started dangling in front and just tuck it in. I mean, it kind of just slid through the pad or something. So I didn't have time enough to think about anything. I just went on and did the move, and that's it.
Tell me how big a win this is. I mean, finally it's the streak.
I know. You know, we've been playing good the last few games, and we didn't have the lucky bounce, and we had a few, you know, get-togethers, the boys and everything, and just to keep our morale up. And we were talking, you know, it's going to be a lucky bounce. It's going to have one of those games when everything's going to happen, and we're just not going to get scored on, and we're going to have a lucky goal, and that's exactly what happened.
You talk about the penalty killing in the second period. That probably was the key to the win.
I mean, you kill. I think we had 6 in the second period. it's a huge factor in a hockey game. You get the guys that kills the penalty get really tired, but I mean, it's a momentum maker. You know, every time you kill a penalty, the team's got confidence. More and more, it's a build-up. And when we got in the third period, you know, we just got a tie, and we kind of, you know, we'd rather have a tie than having another loss. So I mean, the guys were playing hard, but laid back a little bit just to make sure we didn't get scored on. And I mean, we got the overtime, and we finally won.
After the win tonight, are you looking forward to facing these guys again tomorrow night?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, the best way to get off of a slump is starting on a roll again. And I mean, we can get the game tomorrow, and then after that, we can look on the other ones.
Started, Jim, with the second period. Hopefully the Flames can play disciplined hockey like they did in the first period. I mean, they had some period of tussles, but hey, that's part of the game right now.
No question about it. If you haven't touched your remote control, don't touch it now, because we've got an entertaining game of hockey. First period, all kinds of fights, back and forth action, 2 hot goaltenders. Stay right there. Grab yourself something cool to drink.
15-10.
And now we take it back to Aaron for the play-by-play.
12 of St. John's 15 shots were taken by defensemen. 7 of Fredericton's 10 shots were taken by defensemen, and lots to talk about in terms of first period penalties. Blouin and Odette fighting majors at the 45-second mark. DeLille and Petrovicki fighting majors at 3:04. Nazardine roughing at 4:35. Bégin obstruction hooking at 7:15. Morissette and Shelley fighting majors at 10:07. Charron obstruction holding the stick at 10:28. Olsen roughing at 16:51. Poole elbowing at 17:22, Brigley holding at 19:01. So there's a minute and 1 second remaining in the penalty to Travis Brigley. So the Canadiens will open period number 2 with a 61-second power play, their third power play chance of the evening. For those of you with us on TVNB, obviously we did not get to our Rick Vive interview and his thoughts about the closing of Maple Leaf Gardens. That will be coming up during our second intermission. And for those of you listening to Baxter's Flames Hockey on Country 94, a large treat during the second intermission. Peter Walsh will emerge from his underground lair, and it will be a special edition of Pete's Picks on the eve of Championship Sunday in the National Football League. Falcons, Vikings, Jets, Broncos tomorrow. Flames and Canadiens tonight scoreless as the second period begins. St. Louis in behind the St. John net. Flames on the penalty kill. Puck loose in front. Quick shot. Rebound for Eric Hood. And he put it through Karpenko's legs, but just wide of the left post. A glorious scoring chance for Eric Hood, who leads the Canadiens with 34 points. Charron plays it off the boards. Guerin keeps it in. Scoville tries to bat it out of the air. He can't. Hood in the right corner. Point. Guerin. Shot. Blocked by Charron. Scoville on the rebound. Heads up ice. Landry to his left. Scoville over the Fredericton line. Scoville. A drop for Landry. Shot saved by Theodore. Scoville in the left corner. Controls. And a yeoman-like effort here by Darryl Scoville and the rest of the Flames on the penalty kill. Scoville back in his own zone. Slides it ahead. The penalty to Brigley is over. Varlamov moving into the Fredericton zone. Varlamov on the left side. Sends it in behind the net. Around the board she comes to Dave Morissette. He gave it away to Varlamov. Varlamov for Pankowitz moving in. Backhand. Doesn't get through. Petrovicki in front. Varlamov, the shot blocked by Hood. Out to center, it's Odette for St. John. Minute and a half gone in the second period. Fabulous game here at Harbor Station. Still scoreless. Petrovicki back in his own zone. Varlamov gives to O'Sullivan the return for Varlamov. He'll skate away from Morissette to center. He'll shoot it in. Left corner, Petrovicki, first one on it for St. John. In behind the net, Varlamov. Watched by Guerin. Puck rolls towards the net, and Theodore goes down. Covering up with a minute 48 gone in period number 2. There is no score, and that means Flora Bickford has been sitting anxiously this evening, waiting for the first goal of the game. And just to refresh your memory, she has chosen Eric Landry to score the first goal in tonight's Keystone Kelly's first goal of the game contest.
What a chance by Eric Hood in front of Igor Karpenko. Had the hole wide open net, slid it underneath to the far side, and glorious opportunity missed by Hood, but Flames coming back, and Landry just missing down the other end. Jose Theodore making a good save. We talked about it. Lots of jump by both teams tonight, and the Flames showing a good amount of creativity in the offensive zone. Some crossing and some drop passes, something we haven't seen a lot from them before, but looking really good on the offense.
Aaron Kennedy, Steve Ryan at Harbor Station. This game is still scoreless. We're glad to have you with us for Baxter's Flames Hockey on Country 94 and Saturday Night Sports on TVNB. Flames' last home game until February the 4th. The Canadiens are playing the first in a 5-game road trip that continues Monday afternoon in Portland against the Pirates. Wednesday they're in Lowell, Friday in Providence, Saturday in Worcester. Here's Bocage behind the St. John net. Rolls it in front. Karpenko went down, and he's contorting his body, wondering just where the heck that puck happens to be. And it just rolled right parallel to the goal line through the crease. And then the play is stopped as it was underneath the St. John netminder.
Well, Karpenko got the stick out there behind the net. And on new ice like this, the puck will spin, and that's what it did. It spun right underneath his pad. He had a good look behind him, but I'm pretty sure he knew he had it. Karpenko, we talked about before, what an improvement over the last little while. His goals against is down, his save percentage is up, playing with much more confidence, maybe trying to play the puck a little too much, but however, he is playing the puck a lot better, and that certainly will help your defenseman out.
Fredericton coach Michel Therrien having words with Marc Joannette. The assistant coach to Therrien's left is, of course, Jerry Fleming, who will have his number 28 retired in pregame ceremonies 2 weeks from tonight, Saturday, January the 30th, when the Canadiens host the Maple Leafs. Canadiens embarking on a 5-game road trip tonight. The Flames play their next 5 games on the road, and they play 13 of their next 17 on enemy ice. I can't remember the last time I saw the Flames in their red uniforms, because they even played a game in Fredericton on December the 19th in their home whites on reverse sweater night. I have to go way back to December the 17th since the Flames were draped in red. Bocage tries to play the puck into the St. John zone. Cooper brings it off the boards, and Nasreddine holds in. Now Brigley will dump it to center. Saint-Louis on the right side into the Fredericton zone. Saint-Louis looking to set it up. He maintains possession, spins away from Bouillon. In behind the net, Cooper is guarded closely by Bocage, and that allows DeLille to head up ice to center. Into the St. John zone, DeLille with a shot. That one sailed over the net off the end glass, and it bounces all the way down into the Fredericton zone. 3:15 gone in period 2, still scoreless. Mark Hussey has it behind the Fredericton net. Canadians skate it from our left to right as we view the action here in period number 2. Hussey, left wing pass, Gurin dumps it into the St. John zone. Karpenko steers it aside for Darryl Scoville. Scoville gives it to Brigley. Brigley pushes it up ice. Clark can't find it. Asham has it. Asham gives it to King. He'll dump it in. Charon hustles back for the Flames. He moves in behind the net, puts on the brakes, and gives it to Scoville. Scoville, right wing pass. Clark deflects it out to center. Back after it is Aaron Asham. He's inside his own blue line. Asham, a former Red Deer Rebel, dishes off. Gurin, right wing for King. Cross ice, picked off by Charon. He's back inside the St. John line. Ahead for Clark. That one sails the length of the ice. The goaltender Theodore plays it off the boards, but right to Varlamov. He controls on the right side. Varlamov controlling as he's pressured by King. Varlamov still has it. Backhands it to the corner. Pankowitz lets it roll behind the net. Theodore comes out, shoots it away from Petrovicki, and Asham will clear the zone. No, he doesn't. Good job by Pankowitz to keep in. Now Asham strips him of the puck and carries up ice over the St. John line left side. A drop for King. In front, Loshkin fanned on his one-timer, and the puck bounces off the boards. Picked up by O'Sullivan. He chips it ahead. Here's Pankowitz moving in just on side, but he turns the puck over, and the Canadiens start back. Loshkin into the St. John zone. Alexei Loshkin, wrist shot. Pad save, Karpenko. O'Sullivan clears the rebound. Cooper sends that one into section V. 15:03 remaining in period number 2. There's still no score. The Flames' next action Wednesday night from the revamped War Memorial Auditorium in Rochester, New York. The Flames' one and only appearance this season in Rochester. And of course you can hear that game here on Country 94, beginning with the pregame show at around 8:15, 8:20 on Friday night, or on Wednesday night. And then the Flames will continue their road trip on Friday and on Saturday in Hamilton. Those games are also 8:15 starts. So the Flames on the road at 8:15, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. 3 chances to win in Rockies Trivia. And that, of course, is a presentation of Rockies Sports Bar in the shops of City Hall. Rockies is the only game in town and a good place to end up tonight after the Flames game to check out the Botha-Tyson fight at Rockies Sports Bar in the shops of City Hall. Here's Eric Hood, dumping the puck into the St. John zone. Back after it, Scoville can't clear. Gendron ran into Healy, and Charon starts ice. Starts up ice for Bejean now on the right side. Bejean with a shot. It's in behind the Fredericton net. Clark into the left corner, sends it to the point. Scoville, wrist shot, save Theodore. Healy knocks down the rebound, turns and fires, but that is deemed to be knocked down with a high stick. I'm not so sure.
Well, it was close, but both teams starting out this second period the way they ended up the first, and that's very up-tempo, very aggressive. We talked about the transition games on both teams, and they are working. Flames really getting back and playing some good defense also. On that last shift, Tankowicz came back to break up a play, and that's something we didn't see during that horrendous winless streak that the Flames just went through. They're starting to play a lot better, as we talked about, in both ends of the ice, but certainly also in the neutral zone, and it's great for the defensemen to have some help in those forwards.
Eric Healy, a Hobey Baker finalist in his senior year at RPI, has 22 points this season. 15 have come on home ice for number 15, Eric Healy. He's from Massachusetts. He has a very thick Boston twang. His favorite movie, Good Will Hunting.
Figures.
Here's Bocage. Ahead on the left side for DeLille into the St. John zone. DeLille sends it in behind the Flames net. Blouin awaits it in the right corner. Blouin bothered by O'Sullivan along the boards. Landry comes up with it. He'll step in behind the net, takes a bump from Blouin. DeLille moves it for Blouin. Blouin emerges from the right corner with possession. Blouin cycles it now looking for DeLille. He gets away from Landry. Landry's lost his stick, and he'll wrestle DeLille to the ice. There will be a penalty as Martin Saint-Louis gains possession for the Flames. 6:22, holding is the call against Eric Landry, and whenever a player in the defending zone loses the stick, bad things happen.
Well, you talked about that earlier, and when Matt Odette lost his stick. Whoop, here we go. Up.
We've got a fight. Alain Nazardine and Matt Odette with a lot of players on the ice. And I was writing the penalty down. I have no idea what happened here. And now Odette pounds Nazardine with a few left hands after Nazardine got the early jump. The Flames have 7 skaters on the ice, and they're being penalized. Canadians have 5 skaters on the ice, and Theodore at the bench.
Might see Odette go. He's not tied down, and that could mean the end of this one for him.
Well, there's some interesting wording regarding that rule. If your opponent pulls the jersey up over your head, you're not supposed to be penalized for not being tied down.
It was very. I wasn't sure who it was coming at him. I couldn't really see, but boy, Nazardine really wanted a piece of Matt Odette when he was mixing it up with Blouin. And haven't seen that out of Nazardine, but surely showed there that he's a pretty aggressive hockey player. And went right at Matt Odette, getting the first few in. And Matt Odette coming back with a couple of his own.
And our replay on TVMB doesn't continue if we can get that back and just follow the play after the whistle. I have no idea what happened. I was writing the penalty down.
Well, it looked like Nazardine, they were changing, and Nazardine just made a beeline towards Matt Odette after he was mixing up with Sylvain. It looked like Sylvain Blouin. And you thought that they might end up going at it, but Nazardine just quick, as we said before, a beeline, and went right at big Matt Odette, getting the first few in. Some quick, short shots on Matt Odette. And Odette, of course, finishing with a flurry there at the end, but not quite sure how they're going to, how Mark Joannette is going to call these penalties. Certainly Nazardine will be going for 5, and I would think Matt Odette, but I'm not sure what, if doesn't look like Blouin's going to get anything.
We'll step out as Joannette sorts things out. 13:38 remaining in the second. Great game at Harbor Station. Flames and Canadians are scoreless on Baxter's Flames Hockey on Country 94. story according to Rule 56, fisticuffs in the American Hockey League official rulebook. A player who engages in fisticuffs and whose sweater is removed completely off his torso, other than through the actions of his opponent in the altercation or through the actions of the linesman, shall be assessed a game misconduct penalty. Furthermore, a player who engages in fisticuffs and whose sweater is not properly tied down and who loses his sweater in that altercation shall receive a game misconduct. Here's the penalty announcement as Nasreddine is escorted to the Fredericton bench, and on his way to the dressing room, he throws his stick in disgust.
Number 29, LM Nasreddine, 2 minutes for instigating, 5 minutes for fighting, and a 10-minute misconduct. St. John Flames, number 10, Eric Landry, 2 minutes of Scotian holding. And number 55, Matt Odette, 5 minutes for fighting. Time of the penalty, 6 minutes, 22 seconds.
So for the benefit of those of you listening and viewing on TVNB, Landry got the original obstruction holding penalty, Nasreddine an instigating minor, a fighting major, and a 10-minute misconduct, and Odette a fighting major, all at 6:22, so all the penalties cancel out. And if the Canadiens are complaining about Odette losing his jersey, if you're tied down and your opponent pulls it over your head, which is exactly what Nasreddine did, you're not ejected. It's if you're not tied down and you try to snake your way out of the jersey to gain an advantage over your opponent, that's when you get tossed. But it was clear there that Nasreddine, who instigated the fight in the opinion of the officials, and I'll be the first to admit I didn't see how that started, but he just reached down and ripped it literally right over top of Odette's head. So all the penalties cancel out. And again, we're not sure what got into Alain Nasreddine.
I don't know what he ate for supper, but absolutely took a snaky, and as we talked about, went at Matt Odette, but the Flames getting a break there. Landry getting the initial penalty. As you alluded to earlier in the game, you lose your stick, and pretty good chance you're going to end up grabbing on to the opposing player, and that's exactly what Eric Landry did behind Igor Karpenko, and he was going to go off for two. Mark Joey not making the call. Blouin and Odette were having words, and it looked like they were like something was going to come out of that, and Nasreddine was either just coming off the bench or hanging right at the bench and made an absolute beeline, took about 10 steps, grabbed a hold of Matt Odette and started throwing punches. And not a good, a very poor disciplinary move by Nasreddine to go at Odette, who was already tied up with Blouin.
Nasreddine got some good shots in early, but then at the end of the fight, it was Odette who took a few extra ones when Nasreddine was down. And hey, if someone's going to come over and jump you after the whistle, take a few extra shots if you get the chance. Why not?
Yeah, I don't think he really did a lot to Nasreddine to start that, but once again, Nasreddine evening it up for these St. John Flames.
Fourth fight of the game, second involving Matt Odette, 3 fights, of course, and you are out of American Hockey League play. Still lots of hockey left tonight, 13:38 to skate in the second. The game is still scoreless, but it's been a dandy as Charon plays it to center for Béjean over the Fredericton line. Béjean looking for Clark, that bounces off of his skate, and Gendron moves it quickly for Boyd Olsen. Teams are at full strength as the instigating minor to Nasreddine and the obstruction holding to Landry cancel one another out. Here's Hussey, just outside the St. John line, dumps it in, delayed offside, and it's blown down by Bobby Jones. An intentional offside is the call, and the faceoff will come deep into Fredericton territory. Chris Clark moving in there a moment ago with Steve Béjean. Clark, number 7 for the Flames, has gone 11 games without a goal. He scored his first goal of the season in game number 11. After he had a pretty good start, he had 5 assists through the first 3 games. And he got off to a tremendous start, was in the running for AHL Rookie of the Month honors in October. He's tailed off somewhat, but he's a pretty good kid, and you know that things are going to turn around for Chris Clark, who has relatives in Perth, Andover. That's actually where his parents are from, but he was born in South Windsor, Connecticut. Off the face-off in the Fredericton zone, Brett Clark controls, the former UMaine Black Bear, which is where the Flames stayed on Thursday night in Orono. Gets it deep into the St. John zone. It's DeLille now on the right side. DeLille knocked off the puck by Pankowitz. Varlamov feeds it for O'Sullivan, who joins the rush into the Fredericton zone. O'Sullivan moving in and tried to cut in front, but he lost the handle, and Robida turns it back. Robida leads the Canadiens from our left to right. Robida tries to split the defense. He does! Backhand! He didn't get the shot away, and then he got dragged down. Karpenko was sprawled on his back. Great move by Robida, but he was unable to get the shot away. the defenseman trying to get involved offensively here tonight. Hankowitz moving into the Fredericton zone. He would have been offside over 2 lines. He doesn't play the puck, and Robida sits on it in the corner, and that results in a stoppage. That was a great move there by Stefan Robida, gaining the St. John line and splitting the defense. Robida so far this season has 25 points, 6 goals for Michel Therrien and the Fredericton Canadiens. Robida was an all-star defenseman his last 2 seasons of junior hockey with Shawinigan. Last year, in his rookie season in Fredericton, he appeared in all but one of the Baby Habs' 80 regular season games.
They've got 2 good ones back there, Robida and, of course, Francis Bouillon, 43 games, 30 points, 119 penalty minutes. He'll play you tough, but he'll get the puck up the ice also. Good shot and a good addition to this team and Michel Therrien this year.
Still scoreless, 12-12 remaining in the second period. Healy in behind the Fredericton net, controls on the right side to the point, looking for Scoville, but Gendron intercepts and clears to center. Charon, now the St. John captain, the former Baby Hab, moves it to center. Francis Bouillon is there. He'll give it to Hussey. Hussey slides it ahead for Hood as he took a heavy hit from Bégin. Hussey nearly wound up in the St. John bench. Wrist shot by Gendron wide. Hussey from the right point. Fires it into the corner, and he got the stick up in Healy's face, and Healy didn't like that. The referee, Joannette, didn't see it. Now Healy has it, creating a 3-on-2 for Clark, trying to move in. He got tripped up by Bouillon. Fans don't like the non-call. Hussey for Fredericton. Ahead on the left side. Hood can't accept the pass. Cooper in his own zone. Backhands it out for Jeff Cowan. Cowan feeds it up by St. Louis offside at the Fredericton blue line. 11:15 remaining in period number 2. This game is still scoreless. The scratches tonight, incidentally, the Flames with none. They have 17 skaters and 2 goaltenders on their roster, and they are all in action tonight. Matt Eisler is the backup goaltender to Igor Karpenko. The Canadian scratches, Matt Higgins and Terry Ryan, both out with the flu. Healthy scratches, Jimmy Drolet, Sammy Nasreddine, Darcy Harris, and Gennady Razin. It's interesting, the story involving Sammy Nasreddine. He started the season on a 25-game pro tryout. Then as that expired, he was offered a contract by the Canadiens. But with Alain Nasreddine, Sammy's older brother, back with the Baby Habs now.
Pushed him out. It
pushes him out, and that's why he's watching this game from the press box. Alain is obviously the better of the two, and they're both defensemen.
Yeah, well, pretty aggressive. Obviously showing it there earlier.
Sammy Nasreddine wants the best for his brother. As Brigley moves into the Fredericton zone on the right side, takes this shot, blocker save by Theodore. Haven't been a whole lot of shots in this period. Cooper now on the left side in the corner, deep in the Fredericton zone. Clark takes a hit from Jody Shelley. As the Canadiens head up ice, it's King on the left side. Jean-Francois Houle with a shot. Pad save Karpenko. Rebound picked up by Ellick. He's knocked off the puck by King. Houle behind the net trying for the wraparound, but Ellick intervened and knocked it away. Now Clark from the right point steps away from Cowan. Clark moves in. Clark, the shot wide on the stick side. King now controls left wing boards. Canadiens with pressure. King the shot. Karpenko the save. Loshkin in behind the net has it. Centers. Weak shot by King. Karpenko down. Scramble. Puck to the point. Bouillon through traffic. Bouillon gets it back. Moving in. Shot. What a save by Karpenko. He's lost his stick in a reflex stop on Francis Bouillon. Now Loshkin in front. Backhand. Karpenko knocked that one aside with his shoulder. Cowan in behind the net feeds it ahead. Tremendous pressure by the Canadiens as they look for the first goal of the game. Karpenko still without his stick. Loshkin, wraparound, Houle in front, shot, save Karpenko. He's got it.
Whoa.
Fans on their feet.
When's the last time you heard or saw a standing ovation for a St. John goaltender? Well-deserved. Igor Karpenko absolutely standing on his head. Some superb saves there, doing everything he could. He lost his stick early in that shift. A couple of blocker saves, pad saves. Couldn't get it by this guy, and he is, once again, the big story tonight why this game is still scoreless.
Shots are even now at 20. 10-5 Fredericton in this second period. Karpenko down and flopping around, but it was a controlled flop. Watch as Bouillon moves in from the right side. And the puck comes right back to Bouillon. He moves in again. And this is a phenomenal save as he got some part of his right arm on that one.
Yeah, Bouillon, we know he can move in. He can be very offensive, and Karpenko making a couple of big saves there. But, boy, Fredericton throwing everything at this little guy, and he's handling every bit of it.
Bouillon, who played for Michel Therrien with Granby when they won the Memorial Cup. He was actually the captain of that team. He's an AHL All-Star born in New York State. And he'll play for the Planet USA All-Stars a couple of weeks from now in Philadelphia. That was a great chance, and he leads all AHL defensemen with 12 goals. He knows how to score, but he was foiled there on a tremendous stop by Karpenko, one of many he made in that Fredericton flurry. Canadians from back in their own zone. Robida fires it in. Karpenko steers that one to the corner. Gendron's after it, back to the point. Robida can't hold in. Healy will pressure him back at the Fredericton line. Robida moves it for Bouillon, and he'll flip it to neutral ice. Charon hustles back after it. Feeds it to Clark. Clark on his backhand turns, forehand now for Healy moving in on the left side. Healy loses it, but the Flames are making changes. Saint-Louis, Brigley are on the ice. Now Bégin will retreat to the bench, and Landry will join them, the Flames' top unit. They combined +6, and they were on the ice for the game-winning goal in overtime on Thursday, which Landry scored, his 11th of the season. Martin Gendron shooting the puck into the St. John zone. Karpenko's out behind the net and gives it to Chris O'Sullivan. Head on the right side. Brigley just onside at center. Now for Saint-Louis moving in. For Brigley into the right corner. Brigley puts on the brakes, sends it to the point. O'Sullivan shot through traffic. Scores! Put the puck on net, and you never know what might happen. O'Sullivan was thinking about a big slapper. He just decided to sort of snap it, and O'Sullivan has his 6th goal of the season in the Flames. Have a 1-0 lead.
Well, that's the plan. Get it on net. Lots of traffic in front, something the Flames have been trying to do tonight. Fredericton defense doing a good job usually clearing them out, but little traffic in front. Not sure if it was tipped, but good shot by the defense. As you mentioned, not the big slap shot. Get it on net, and good things will happen, as they just did. 1-0 Flames.
Chris O'Sullivan now with 28 points on the season. He's second in team scoring behind Nat Domicelli, who has 31. 6th goal of the campaign for O'Sullivan, who will be Francis Bouillon's teammate on the Planet USA All-Stars at the All-Star Classic in Philadelphia. Wrigley with the assist, 11:52 the time. 1-0 St. John. Back-to-back games, the Flames have scored first. And they won in overtime against Lowell on Thursday. Brigley drops it at his own line for O'Sullivan. He'll move it for Matt Odette, who's had 2 fights in the game. And he's hit by DeLille as he sends it into the Fredericton zone. Hussey is back to get it. Mark Hussey feeds it to center for Mark Bocage, moving in on the left side. Bocage, the shot, stopped by Karpenko. Cooper on the rebound, heads up ice, chips it to Varlamov. Varlamov into the Fredericton zone. Pankowitz the shot, blocker saved by Theodore. Pankowitz turns and fires that one. It's knocked down by Gurin. He'll carry it up ice. Ahead for King, moving in on the left side. He centers it. Gurin carries into the left corner. He'll chip it behind the net. First one in the right corner is Houle. He's met there by Pankowitz. Houle tries to get away from him. Houle moves in behind the net, comes in front, backhand, wraparound, they score! Alexei Aloshkin forces that one past Igor Karpenko, and this game is tied at 1.
I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like Karpenko did stop the initial wraparound, and Loshkin just sitting there at the edge of the crease and banged away at it, and it gets by Igor Karpenko, who, as we've talked about earlier, has played huge so far. But you got to watch those wraparounds, and really, if the shot is taken on it, it's really hard to control sometimes when they're in close and banging away. And Alexei Loshkin bangs away and gets ties it up at 1.
Loshkin with his 8th. Jean-Francois Houle gets the assist, as does Scott King.
Fredericton 23, Loshkin from
So the paternal connection, Houle, whose father Ray Jean is Montreal's general manager, and King, whose father is Dave, Montreal's assistant coach, get the assists on Loshkin's 8. Wrigley's offside at the Fredericton line. 13:08 is the time of the goal. Incidentally, Flora Bickford, our contestant in the Keystone Kelly's first goal of the game contest, had chosen Eric Landry to score first tonight. He does not. But just for playing our game, Flora Bickford wins a time crunch punch for lunch for 2, courtesy of Keystone Kelly's in Market Square. Next action for the Flames, Wednesday night in Rochester. Your next chance to win on the Keystone Kelly's first goal of the game contest. Aaron Kennedy and Steve Ryan at Harbor Station in St. John. It's 1-1, the Flames and the Canadiens on Saturday Night Sports on TVNB and on Baxter's Flames Hockey on Country 94. Face-off in neutral ice outside the Fredericton line, fired in by Chiron. Healy on the left wing. Tried to drop it for Scoville, but he wasn't at the line, and the puck is in neutral ice. Chiron back in his own zone. Hot pass intended for Scoville. Healy picks it up and turns it up ice as the Flames go to the attack. Healy into the Fredericton zone left side. Wrist shot. Gloved by Jose Theodore. Now another fight. Chris Clark and Boyd Olson. We've seen the feistiness from Clark. Olson lost his balance and fell to the ice, and Clark gives him a couple of shots for good measure.
Well, there was the shot, and Jose Theodore made the save. I really didn't get a look at what started this between Olson and Chris Clark. We know Clark does like to get at it. He put an awful pummeling on one of the St. John's Maple Leafs the very first part of this year. Haven't seen a lot of that type of play from Chris as of late. You know he can play tough, and he likes to get tough in the corners. He'll play aggressive when he's on his game, but he and Olsen, a couple of shots in on each other, and nothing major, but the trend continues. Lots of scraps here tonight at Harbor Station.
Unofficially, 78 penalty minutes in the game now, as Olsen and Clark get fighting majors at 13:39. 1-1 is the score.
At 13:39.
Fredericton with 24 shots, the Flames with 23. Every team in the American Hockey League, with the exception of the Springfield Falcons, in action tonight. The other Atlantic Division teams, Portland is at Lowell, and the Maple Leafs, after a 3-3 draw last night in Philadelphia, play in Hershey. And we'll have some partial scores early in the third period. Healy from the faceoff to the right point. Odette winds and fires. That one did. The 91st game of his AHL career, still looking for that elusive first American Hockey League goal, but he has played the type of game that he has to play tonight. If he has to fight a couple of times, so be it. And the big thing with Matt Odette, if he's not a minus, and you really don't notice him out there on a given night, he's playing effectively.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. You don't want to notice. It might seem sound funny saying that, but you don't want to notice Matt Odette out there. Doesn't make the mistakes. He's playing a good game, and physical, that's what Matt Odette has to play. Big size, lots of size. He's not going to score a lot of goals. He hasn't got any goals yet. The fact of the matter is, if he plays tough out there, he'll do his job.
6:05 to skate in the second period. Pete's picks coming up during our intermission. Cooper with a shot into the right corner. Blouin skates after it and feeds it ahead for Aaron Asham. 1 against 2 at the St. John line. Now Bocage joins him. Asham on the left side turns it over to Brigley. He'll backhand it off the boards to center. Asham at his own line for Bouillon. He was pressured on the blind side by St. Louis. Never saw him coming, but he moves it up ice. Asham and the Canadiens are offside at the St. John blue line. Canadiens will go home tonight. They'll leave at 10:30 tomorrow morning, bound for Portland. They play the Pirates at 3 o'clock Atlantic time on Monday. It's Martin Luther King Day, south of the border. Flames will fly to Toronto on Tuesday and then make the 3-hour bus ride to Rochester. They'll play in Rochester on Wednesday. After the game, they will truck to Hamilton. Thursday is an off day. Then they play the Bulldogs Friday and Saturday nights, and then they fly home on Sunday. At least some of them do. That's the start of the All-Star break. Some members of the team are coming back to St. John. Others who live in Ontario and Upper Canada are staying until Wednesday. Here's Landry, winding his way through center. He got hooked down. Joannette shakes his head no as the fans yell for a penalty. King fires it wide. Loshkin on the left side. loses it. St. Louis gets it ahead for Landry. Landry tied up by Gurin. Robida plays the puck for Morissette. Dave Morissette whacks it ahead for Loshkin. He has the Fredericton goal. A drop for King. Shot off of Ellick's stick in behind the net. It bounces in front. Karpenko has the paddle down, and he freezes it against the side of the goal with 5:02 remaining in period number 2. 1-1 is the score. Chris O'Sullivan has tallied for St. John his 6th at 11:52. Alexei Loshkin has the Fredericton marker, his 8th at 13:08.
Well, just before the Chris O'Sullivan goal, Karpenko, we talked about it, had the standing ovation, and first time this year a goaltender from St. John, as I can remember, has received any accolades like that. He's played very, very, very well tonight. O'Sullivan comes back, gets a goal. Fredericton comes right back and ties it up on the Loshkin goal. A good game so far. We talked about first period end to end, and this second period is somewhat similar. Still aggressive, a couple of scraps, and fans certainly being treated to a good, strong hockey game here tonight.
Here's Scoville dancing away from Gendron, creating a 3-on-2 for Healy moving in. Scoville, the trailer, can't get a shot away, and the puck is dumped out by Hussey. Charon back inside the St. John line. Under 5 minutes remaining in the second period. 1-1 is the score. Steve Bégin ahead for Healy. He gets it to the Fredericton line. On his backhand, Clark fans on it, so he'll feed it to Hussey. Hussey's on his forehand, and he moves it into the St. John zone. This could be icing, and finally is. That was a slow motion icing for sure, as Eric Charon finally is able to touch the puck ahead of Eric Hood.
Not sure if Charon saw the arm up of the linesman going back there kind of half in slow motion. Eric Charon, one of the leaders in this team, wears the C and can be a tough competitor. He's played very well as of late. I thought Thursday night's game against Lowell was his best game of the year, especially in the first period and a half. Got in trouble with a couple of penalties, but overall played a pretty strong game. And he's going to lead by example out there. A young defense, with the exception of possibly Chris O'Sullivan. You've got Charon out there who's been around for a while, but Ellick and Scoville and certainly Odette, these guys haven't had many years in this league, and you have to lead by example, and Charon certainly did that the other night. I thought he played a whale of a game.
Off the face-off, Petrovicki with a shot right off of DeLille's ankle. DeLille's getting battered and bruised in this period. O'Sullivan, a high-rising glass, sails over the net and bounces to center. Blouin shoots it into the St. John zone. O'Sullivan back in behind his own net. Plays it on the right side. Petrovicki bumps Bouillon. O'Sullivan can't get it out. Bocage plays it to the corner. Blouin steps in front. Can't get the shot away. DeLille loses it, and O'Sullivan plays it away. Bocage now for DeLille. In the left corner, Jonathan DeLille had both Fredericton goals last night in the 4-2 loss to Portland. For Bouillon moving in behind the net, but Pankowitz is dragged down by Blouin, and that's an obstruction tripping penalty. As Jonathan DeLille, the poor guy with 2 bad ankles now after an Odette shot earlier and a Petrovicki shot later, he tries to make his way to the bench, and he's probably trying not to laugh about his bad luck here. As he makes his way down the runway, and he's got to wonder if he's got targets on his ankles. As Jacques Perrin, the Canadiens athletic therapist, heads down the runway. You got to feel for Jonathan DeLille, even if you are a St. John fan. It's got to hurt.
He's taking a couple of shots, no doubt about it. Blouin taking a bad, undisciplined penalty in the opposing zone. Really, Fredericton controlling the play, moving the puck around fairly well, and Blouin, as we mentioned, an undisciplined penalty. Going to bring the face-off outside, and with 3:50, the Habs are going to be down a man.
Flames are now 1 for 44 with the power play. Similar power play problems in Calgary. The parent Flames are 0 for their last 38 as they play tonight in San Jose. Obstruction tripping against Blouin at 16-10. Flames with the power play, their 4th of the evening at the captain sub power play. Pankowitz sends it in. St. Louis along the right wing boards, moves it for Brigley. Brigley looking in front for Pankowitz. Good job by Hussey to knock it back to the corner. Hussey flings it off the board. Charon holds in left side. In behind the net, Pankowitz skates away from Gurin. Controls now on the left side. Greg Pankowitz dishes off St. Louis with a shot between the circles, and Theodore makes the save, and Hussey clears the rebound. A minute 18 to go in the penalty to Blouin. Flames attack from our right to left. 1-1 is the score here. Waning minutes of the second period. Eric Landry, the overtime hero on Thursday in the win over Lowell, backhands it into the Fredericton zone. Petrovicki behind the net. Looking for St. Louis, but Clark is there, and he'll drive it down ice. Karpenko, who has made 23 saves, plays it for O'Sullivan ahead for Varlamov, just onside at center, now for Landry on the right wing. Landry, pressured by DeLille. Landry in front, Petrovicki can't get to it as Robida moves it for Clark, and Clark skates it to center and lobs it into the St. John zone, wide of the net. O'Sullivan is back to pick it up. 33 seconds in the power play. Left wing for Varlamov. He nearly coughed it up to Bocage. He did, in fact, cough it up to Bocage. Now Bocage gave it away to Ellick, who has an alley on the left side. Ellick moving in, a drop intended for Pankowitz. Great play by Bocage, known as a defensive center. He's back, intercepts, and plays out. Gurin at center. Tried to feed it ahead for Bouillon, but the pass is too far in front of him. O'Sullivan in his own zone now for Mickey Ellick. Ellick headmans it looking for Varlamov, but that one's deflected over the glass by Bouillon. A minute 55 remaining in period number 2. 1-1 is the score. The Flames and the Canadiens all tied up in these Atlantic Division standings. Lowell showing the way with 46 points. Then the Leafs, now undefeated in 5, and a lot of that has to do with the arrival of Jeff Reese, are tied with the Canadiens, 37 points each. The Flames in sole possession of 4th with 34, and the Pirates, who snapped a 6-game losing streak with the win last night at the Aiken Center, are last in the division and last overall with 29 points. It's not good when you're last overall when you played more games than every other team in the league.
They're not looking too good right now. Portland really having a hard time of it.
Theodore stops the puck behind the Fredericton net, and Mark Hussey has it. And he'll dump it the length of the ice. This will be an icing as Scoville, the fastest player amongst the Flames, gets back ahead of Martin Gendron. $1:36 to skate in period number 2. Coming up during our second intermission, Harry Johnson and Jim Hennessy are your hosts on Saturday Night Sports on TVNB. And for those of you viewing tonight on TVNB, you will see our interview with Rick Vive as he reminisces about the closing of Maple Leaf Gardens. For those of you on Baxter Slings Hockey on Country 94, Pete's Picks. Peter Walsh will be along with his take on the championship games in the National Football League tomorrow. The early game, Atlanta at Minnesota. The late game, the Jets at Denver. And we'll get a sports update from Andy LaRue. That's coming up during our second intermission. Face-off is to the stick side of Jose Theodore. Undefeated in his last 3 games. Off the face-off, St. Louis shot doesn't get through. And Eric Hood comes up with it. St. Louis hooks the puck away from him. Nice job. And Brigley backhands it into the Fredericton zone. Hussey plays it out. This could be icing, and is, as Scoville is back to get it. 1:22 to go in the period. Good job by St. Louis. You know he's frustrated with this slump. 9 games without a goal. But that was good, hard work to take the puck away from Hood right there.
Yeah, and you know, Martin St. Louis, it is very, very frustrating. He was so good when he came in. Sent down from Calgary. I saw the game that he scored a goal up there, and you know, played okay, but Calgary thought they'd send him down here, get him some playing time, and you know, scoring a couple of points a game at least. Playing very well, but has been snake bitten as of late, as have a lot of the Flames. Really haven't put a lot of goals or points up on the board. You know, they'll come with Martin St. Louis. Playing with Eric Landry and Travis Brigley. Landry will get him the puck, and certainly St. Louis has a good set of wheels. So the goal scoring will come from this guy. Right now, it's just very frustrating.
Michel Therrien tried to make a change and match up a different line against Landry, St. Louis, and Brigley, but Joannette won't allow him. Landry wins the draw. St. Louis to Charon. His shot bounces off of Lochkin. Canadians are getting abused here with blocking shots. Landry in front, shot saved Theodore. It's loose in the slot. Landry tried to glove it ahead, and the puck comes to Brigley on the left side. His shot kicked away by Theodore. Landry got hammered in front by Mark Hussey, and he lands on the Fredericton goaltender. No penalty. Now Landry and Hussey are mixing it up, and there will be penalties. That's the 3rd time in the game Landry going hard to the Fredericton net. It's also the 3rd time he's been hammered. But for the first time, there was no initial call.
Well, Mark Hussey is a big guy, and he'll play aggressive in front of that net. Eric Landry doing what he's supposed to do. Flames controlling the puck, getting a couple of shots on, but Eric Landry going to the net, he can be pesky. And that's his job. But Mark Hussey absolutely leveling him on top of Jose Theodore. and very, very fortunate for the Fredericton Canadiens that Hussey didn't get a penalty on that particular play. Landry retaliating, and both of them are going off for 2.
1902 roughing minors against Hussey and Landry. With 4 skaters aside.
Well, less than a minute here left in the second period. As you mentioned, playing 4 skaters aside, that's certainly going to open things up. Seeing Eric Landry taking a shot and giving Mark Hussey a punch in the head.
Yeah, Hussey really didn't do anything after the initial hit.
But Mark Joannette, seeing probably thinking that he missed the check of Landry in the net, and sending them both off, and as he should.
He should have got it right initially.
Absolutely,
actually.
Yeah.
50 seconds to go in the period. As Bocage heads up ice, moves it on the left side for Robida. He'll flip it into the Fredericton zone. Aces are wild here, 1-1 in the second. 40 seconds to play. Puck deep in St. John territory. Wrigley shovels it behind the net for Chris O'Sullivan. He has the St. John marker. He'll send it now for David Cooper. Cooper to center. Into the Fredericton zone. The puck is swept on net. Theodore plays it for Bouillon. 20 seconds in the period. Bouillon in front of his own net. Moves it for Robida. He'll backhand it off the boards. DeLille at center. DeLille drops it for Bocage into the St. John zone in front. Looking for DeLille. Good defensive play by David Cooper. Now DeLille in front, but there's going to be a penalty. Bocage for taking out David Cooper. An offensive zone interference penalty against Mark Bocage at 19:48.
Well, good call by Joannette. That could have led to another goal-scoring chance for Fredericton, and he whistled it down right away. Bocage taking out Cooper on the interference, and you just can't do that. And undisciplined penalty again by the Fredericton Canadiens, and Flames going to go to a power play with just 11 seconds left here in the second.
Whenever the Flames score a power play goal, and we will be the first to admit that it hasn't happened much lately, but whenever they do, well, people are getting hungry out there. They want their captain sub steak subs. But whenever the Flames score a power play goal, someone wins a regular steak sub courtesy of Captain Sub, home of the best steak sub in town. As Bocage heads off for interference at 19:48. He's the only person in the penalty box right now because Landry and Hussey were banished to their respective dressing room with under 2 minutes to play in the period when they were assessed their coincidental roughing penalties. So 11 seconds here, and this is rather ominous. There are ones right across the board. 1-1 is the score, and 11.1 seconds remaining in the period. Aces really are wild, as Vin Scully is wont to say. Here's Charron. Ahead for Scoville, moving into the Fredericton zone for Varlamov. 3 seconds left. The shot, he fanned on it, and the period is over. No score after 1. 1-1 after 2.
Well, we talked about the problems that the Flames are having on their power play, and I really think it comes down to just trying a little too hard. We talked about how many of those shots they had in the first period came from the point. Definitely 70-75% of them are coming from the defenseman, and usually it's Chris O'Sullivan or David Cooper. But the Flames are trying and giving it a good shot. A pretty good game so far, 1-1 after 2. But I think the problems that they're running into with the power play, they're just trying to make that extra move and not taking the shot when probably they should.
More often than not, teams don't like it when a power play is broken up by the intermission. Yeah. But to start period number 3, it'll be a 4-on-3 for 62 seconds. That might not be that bad of a situation. There won't be as many players on the ice, not as much congestion, and the Flames the chance to get 4 offensive-minded players out there against 3 Fredericton defenders.
Well, certainly they're going to get the chance to talk about it. Rick Five and Jeff Perry will no doubt have a game plan for the third period on that. Going to have the power play for a while, and clean ice, and you're going to want your speedy guys out there. No doubt that they're going to be wanting to move the puck up the ice quickly, but as we talked about before, not having a heck of a lot of good luck on the power play, and certainly they're going to have to try something new. Traffic in front. But certainly with this open ice, there's going to be some chances come the start of the third period.
O'Sullivan and Loshkin exchange second period goals. The Loshkin tally perhaps could be nominated for our garbage goal of the game. Stay with us during the post-game show tonight for the garbage goal of the game. A presentation of Dominion Refuse and St. John Recycling. Together, we can make a difference. It's 1-1, the Flames and the Canadiens after 2. This is Saturday Night Sports on TVNB and Baxter's Flames Hockey on Country 94.
We have a tie game here tonight, Jim, at Harbour Station. The Flames and the Canadian side at 1. Flames scored first on a real nice goal, which was a screenshot that Theodore just couldn't see. And St. Louis, he was held in front, and St. Louis said, well, if you're going to hold me, I'll just stay right here and cause some traffic.
Well, the big thing going on at Harbor Station right now is MP Elsie Wayne, Rolly McIntyre, and president of the St. John Flames, Donnie Miles, out on the ice having the great McDonald's puck race. Let's see if we can get a winner here. Yeah, okay, someone's going to win, regardless. Anyway, like you said, yeah, St. John Flames jumped out quick, and like we said during the second period while we were watching the game, the team that scores the first goal in this game is going to have a heads up, but then all of a sudden Fredericton rolls back down the other end of the ice. They pot one home, so we're tied at 1 with 20 minutes left to play, so it's going to be interesting going into the third period. The banging, the crashing has been going on all night, and you can expect the intensity to grow as the third period comes into play, no question about it.
Folks, that wasn't a boat coming into harbor here. That was the horn sounding when they score a goal here. So, but yeah, we had a couple of other spirited fights in the second period. Matt Odette got jumped, and he was trying to challenge Blouin. Alain Nazardine come in and just jumped him. And Matt Odette, that's the first time I've ever seen him with any intensity, pointed at him and said, I'm going to get you next time.
Well, you know how the old saying goes, you know, watch my back and I'll watch yours. Odette was just kind of standing there. Landry being the instigator in that whole brouhaha that broke out. Then, of course, Odette's just trying to get him over to the penalty box before he got an extra 2 minutes. All of a sudden, he's jumped out of nowhere. So Odette, of course, says, hey, listen, buddy, you want to jump me? You don't have to. You want to dance? Just come over and ask me. My card's always open. We'll go. But Odette, you're right. He showed some intensity, and that's what this team needs to get back on the winning ways. The team's got to go out there. They got to bang. They got to score some goals, obviously. But Igor Karpenko, what a house on fire he's been. We've been talking about Jose Theodore for the past couple of weeks, but I'm telling you, Karpenko's putting his game up a notch tonight. No question about it.
Well, Karpenko for about a minute, maybe almost a minute and a half, played with no stick in his hand. None of the defensemen or forwards would give him a stick, which I don't know why. Maybe they didn't realize he didn't have a stick because he was stopping everything anyway. Yeah. He didn't need that piece of lumber in his hand, and he was just phenomenal, really. I mean, he stopped everything that come at him there. He sprawled down. He thought he had the puck covered. Puck was still in play. He could back up and made a fantastic save on the block with the blocker. So this guy right now, he's on his game, and it's about time I think that he got on his game.
Well, there's a couple of positive. Well, there's actually 3 positive spins that come out of here tonight. This is the first close to full house at Harbor Station there's been in a long, long time. Second big point, Igor Karpenko. This is the best game he's played all year, hands down, no question about it. And the third fact is that this guy's getting a little confidence back, and that's exactly what he needed. Goaltenders, as you well know, they're very superstitious, and when they're not playing well, it's hard for them to get back on track. But the way he's playing tonight, the way the defense is playing for him, and the way the offense is trying to generate and put some putts in the net, this is a game that could put him over the top and get him on a big roll.
Well, now we hear the fans out in the back behind us here cheering again. We got a mascot race going on out here on the ice, and Fleaburn won the race as usual. But anyway, that may just be something to show that the Flames are going to win later on too. I don't know, but
exactly.
But no, it's a very spirited game. The fans are into it. We were standing in one section, and we seen an elderly gentleman. I guess the only way to put it politely, he stand up when the fight was going on. He was just right into it. So who says fans don't like the fighting?
Hey,
I don't know. I'd have to call him a liar because everybody in this place was just cheering.
Well, this is an old argument. I mean, this isn't something new. We've argued about it. Everybody else has argued about it that's a hockey fan. Do you keep the fighting in or do you keep it not? Rocky Thompson's article in the newspaper last week, very well-written article by Brad Janes. And Thompson said, hey, it's part of the game. I grew up, and that was part of the game. He said, hopefully I'm going to play out my career, and that'll still be part of the game. But he made a lot of good points as well that in the NHL, up top, they are trying to weed out the fighters. If you look at the lineups as compared to maybe 3 years ago, how many of the big heavyweights do you see in the lineups anymore? None. But Thompson says, hey, he's going to try to up-level his game. His skating has gotten better over the last couple of years. So he says he's going to stick around. And, hey, he's playing up in Calgary right now, so he must be doing something right.
Well, I think any fan that watches the St. John Flames and seen Rocky come in here the first time he came in and say, you know, who is this guy? What minor hockey program is he out of? Because his skating was just horrible. And then, you know, Coach Stewart last year took him, I think, under his wing and said, hey, I'm going to make a hockey player out of you. Rocky scores 2 or 3 goals last year, which is more than Sammy Helena scored in, 3-4 years he was here. So,
exactly.
And Rocky's skating now, I mean, he's up there with, I won't say the best of them, but he's getting up there, and his skating's a lot better.
Well, people have to remember, too, when Thompson first came here and played those 3 games, he was still playing junior hockey. He was 18, and let's face it, he was a little green behind the ears. Made a name for himself with a name like Rocky. How couldn't you in this city, right? But the kid knew that he had some work to do. He had to learn how to skate. He had to learn how to play defense. He had to learn how to get up there and try to put the puck in the net. And he went to work. And like he said in the article, if you don't work, you don't see results, and Thompson is starting to see those results right now.
And we're starting to see some skills come out of him too, which he gets the puck now. He doesn't panic. He doesn't throw it away. He can do something with it. As we've seen with Dave Morissette tonight, the guy's got some great hands when he's got the gloves off. He's got some great hands when the gloves are on too, and he's not too bad of a skater, I noticed there. And he's coming down the wing and stick handling there. He knows where the play is. He's not just one of them dumb jocks, I guess the only way to say it, that doesn't know where the play is, doesn't know what to do. All he knows is just to drop the gloves and play with some guys. So it's interesting to see these guys that they do have some skills. Ty Domi, has got some skills. Marty McSorley's an exceptional defenseman, but they are getting a bad rap. But it's got its place in hockey, definitely.
Morris said no question about it. I mean, like we said, yeah, he might have been hugging the blue line a little bit, waiting for the puck, but sometimes you have to do that. It's a smart heads-up play on his behalf. This game easily could be 2-1 in Fredericton's favor, banging off the iron. But like you said, Morissette is a very talented hockey player. Nobody's taking anything away from that. But when it gets back to the old argument, do you keep the fighting in hockey or do you try to eliminate it? I don't know. From the reaction of the crowd tonight so far, we've had, 7, maybe 8 good tilts? I'd say keep it.
Well, Jim, I'd just like to mention right now that up in Campbellton right now, there's a Junior A All-Star game going on between the Quebec Junior AAA All-Stars and the Maritime Junior A All-Stars. That game's being taped tonight and will be shown tomorrow afternoon. I believe it's at 2 o'clock. So anybody who's interested in Maritime Junior hockey and wants to see some pretty good caliber hockey, you're going to see the best of the Maritimes against the best of Quebec. And there's some pretty good hockey players coming out of Quebec in the Junior A. Some of them get drafted too. Like there are the odd exception there that doesn't make it to the major junior, but does get drafted to Junior A. So we do have a crew out there taping that game, and it's going to be shown tomorrow afternoon, I believe, at 2 o'clock.
Well, I look forward to seeing to that. And I mean, as you and I both know, we spent a lot of cold nights and long nights in the LBR when the Junior A hockey was here in St. John. Yeah, Junior A hockey is simply fantastic. I think that maybe they need to make a few rule changes when it comes to if the boys drop the gloves or whatever. I can understand the progression that they're trying to make at the Junior A level, but I think they have to make a few line changes and rule changes. But I think it's a great game. I mean, you work closely with the team. I covered the team. I think it's a great style of hockey.
Well, I think they should adopt the major junior rule, which is 2 fights. The second fight, you're out. I mean, give the guys a chance, get some of the frustration build out, and just get the anger out of here. So, but right now we have to go to an interview that we did, I guess, earlier in the week with Jose Theodore, and we're going to somebody's not familiar with camera work here. So anyway, we're going to take that interview right now with Jose Theodore, and we're going to talk about him being sent down and and his feelings on that.
What do you think you'll learn during your stay here in Fredericton?
First of all, I have a chance to play a lot, and that's the only thing I think I can not really learn, but that's going to help me a lot, is that I'm going to play a lot. So that's basically the main thing why I'm here.
What are your goals that you want to reach personally while you're here with the Fredericton team?
Well, first of all, it's to help the team win as many games as possible, and be solid in every game, and hopefully be back in Montreal as fast as possible.
Your agent said that you coming back here was an injustice. Do you agree with him?
Well, I don't really think that I deserve to be here, but that's not. They made a decision, and I just have to respect it and work hard and show that I'm a professional, and I'm gonna perform even in Fredericton.
Will you ask for a trade from your agent, or are you going to try and get your agent to influence Réjean to get you back up into Montreal as soon as possible?
No, I don't think so. I think they have good plans for me. It's not a question of a trade. I'm on a one-way deal here, and we're all going to see what's going to happen after the season if I'm still here with the next contract, because my contract is up this year. So I think they have good plans for me. I'm only 22, and I'm not going to ask for a trade, no.
They say that agents make the job for the coaches and general managers more difficult. Do you agree with that?
Well, maybe sometimes, but in my case, I don't think so. First of all, you have to think that I'm part of the organization of Montreal Canadiens, and they're going to make the good decision to improve their team, and if they think I can help it, then I'm going to be part of their plans. But my agent, if I don't play well here, or like I did last year, he's not going to do anything for me. I just want to be treated fair, and I think so far Montreal was pretty fair with me.
Here in New Brunswick, we hear a lot about the Montreal media and how crazy it is. Do you think that it is really hard on the players, and do you have any examples of that?
Well, not really example, but I think first of all, I was born in Montreal, so I knew what it's all about since I'm a little kid. For sure, there's a lot of pressure there because, you know, there's a lot of media, and if the team doesn't win, it's going to be all over the papers. But, you know, I think you just have to deal with that in a positive way, and it's probably going to help you perform better if you like pressure.
Okay, good game tonight. The losing streak previous to this must have been pretty frustrating. What different tonight?
Well, I think, you know, I mean, in the past 6-7 games, we've been having a lot of chances to score, and we haven't been able to capitalize. And we've been playing a lot better defensively, you know, even though we haven't gotten some wins. But tonight, I think it showed that, you know, if we capitalize on our chances, you know, and give two goals or less, you know, we're going to have a good chance to win, and that's what happened tonight.
Sullivan and Sergei Berezan reply for the Leafs. Washington and Carolina 1-1 late in the first. Keith Primo and Peter Bondra with the goals. The Islanders and Panthers are scoreless early in the first. Still to come, the late game on Hockey Night in Canada. Detroit at Vancouver. Calgary is at San Jose, and the Penguins visit Los Angeles. So the third period is set to begin here at Harbor Station. 1-1 is the score. The Flames with a 4-on-3 will attack from our left to right with Pankowitz, Saloui, who has received an added assist on the St. John goal, and O'Sullivan on the ice. And here's Saloui moving into the Fredericton zone. 4-on-3 power play for the Flames. Charon to the front of the net. Saloui to O'Sullivan. Back to Saloui. Back to O'Sullivan for Pankowitz. To O'Sullivan, the shot. Save Theodore. Charon, the rebound, can't whack it home. Strange setup on the power play for the Flames. They put Eric Charon, the captain, a defenseman, in front of the net. It's a place he's not used to being in the attacking zone. And back there he goes. He's a big guy. He just got cross-checked by Brett Clark. No call. Saloui to O'Sullivan just inside the line. Saloui cross ice for Pankowitz. Back to O'Sullivan. The shot scores! Play goal, the second of the game, 7th of the season for Chris O'Sullivan, and the Flames lead 2-1.
Chris O'Sullivan with an absolute laser by Jose Theodore, but give the big assist there to Eric Charon. Good move by Rick Vibe and Jeff Perry, getting this big rear guard in front of Theodore, showing some screen, and he created a lot of havoc out there. Great job by Charon, and a wicked shot by Chris O'Sullivan. Flames take a 2-1 lead.
Eric Charon, the St. John captain, oldest guy on the team, turned 28 years old on Thursday. Turned 29 years old, as a matter of fact, on Thursday. 6'3", 195 pounds. O'Sullivan gets the goal. The power play tally makes the winner of Edith Duguay on the captain sub power play contest. Pankowitz and Charon get the assist. And that's a brilliant piece of coaching from Vibe and Perry.
Good job. Good move.
You don't often see a defenseman setting up the screen on a 4-on-3 power play. Flames on top 2-1 as O'Sullivan feeds it ahead to Saloui into the Fredericton zone with his shot deflected up and not over the glass into the right corner. Landry bumped there by Gurin, and Hood moves it for Robida. The Canadians coming from behind here, down 2-1. Gendron into the St. John zone. Gendron for Gurin, top of the right circle. Shot blocker, save Theodore. Loose in front. O'Sullivan moves it to Cooper. He'll slide it ahead for Martin Saloui. Saloui into the Fredericton zone, looking in front for Landry. That's played away by Gurin. First time since December the 19th, the Flames have had a player score 2 goals in a game. That game was also against the Canadiens. That was a 6-3 loss. Nat Domicelli had the deuce on that particular night. 2 minutes gone in the third. 2-1 St. John. Both goals coming from Chris O'Sullivan. Pankowitz plays it off the boards. After it is Petrovicki, but it's an offside call at the Fredericton blue line. 17:54 remaining in regulation time. As I mentioned, Edith Duguay has won a regular steak sub, courtesy of Captain Sub, home of the best steak sub in town. Flames with the 2-1 advantage here early in the third.
Well, Flames still keen. That shot back from the point, but this time, however, it worked, and we talked about it. Great job by Vive in getting Eric Sharon in front. They need that size, and certainly Theodore, if he sees anything, 99% of the time he'll stop it, but I don't think he saw that shot at all.
Clark in behind the Fredericton net. That's Brett Clark for the Canadiens. Now King drops it for Clark. He gets away from Pankowitz, moves it to center. Loshkin into the St. John zone. Loshkin stripped of the puck by Pankowitz. Cooper plays it off the left wing boards. Varlamov moves into Fredericton territory with his shot. That one's off the outside of the post. And Loshkin feeds it ahead for King. Odd man rush for the Canadiens. Houle on the left wing. A drop. There's nobody there, and the puck is in neutral ice. Varlamov takes a hit from Bouillon, carries back into his own zone, and dumps it off the boards to the Fredericton line. Bouillon back in his own zone for Clark. Clark drops it laterally for Bouillon. Canadiens from our right to left. Bouillon ahead for King. Losing it to Cooper. He'll move it for Odette. Off the glass to center. Hustling after it is Saint-Louis. He can't come up with it as the Canadiens play it all the way back into St. John territory. Cooper behind the net for Matt Odette. Up ice, Landry steers it into Fredericton territory. Icing is waved off as Theodore had to knock it away from the hard-charging Martin Saint-Louis. Saint-Louis after it behind the net once again. Theodore whacks it ahead, and Miloslav Gurin gets it to center. Blouin shovels it towards the net. Karpenko fires it off the end glass and off the boards. Hussey keeps in right side. His shot knocked down by Eric Charon, the St. John captain. Ahead for Landry, offside. Over two lines, the outlet pass. Charon for Landry, trying to spring him free, but the play is blown down.
Well, pretty close. Good job by Eric Charon, as he's been doing, getting that puck up the ice, but probably a foot and a half offside. But the Flames doing well on moving the puck up the ice, and that's something they've had trouble with, as we talked about earlier, in that winless streak that they just went through. But lots of jump to this team tonight. Forwards getting out and going to the hole, getting open a fair amount. And you like to see that. Rick Vive and Jeff Perry have to be happy with the way his team's played so far tonight.
16:26 remaining in regulation. Charon has the puck for the Flames. He'll fire it off the end boards in his own zone. Scoville loses it. It was centered by Gendron, intended for Hood, but it skips to the boards. Charon tries to play it behind the net. Now he gets it away from Hood, but Olsen plays it behind the net. Eric Hood sandwiched by Béjean and Charon. Gendron has the puck. He flips it into the left corner. Eric Hood comes up with it there. Alain Azardine has served his 17 minutes and penalties. He's on the ice. Béjean got the stick up with Gendron as Charon sends it up ice. Here's Chris Clark for St. John. Over the Fredericton line. In front for Healy. Healy looking for Béjean. It slides to the right corner. Béjean moves it now for Clark. Clark helped out by Healy, but the Canadiens' Hood drives it off the boards to center. O'Sullivan with both St. John goals moving in with a shot. Glove saved by Theodore. O'Sullivan thinking hat trick, wires one on net. But as you mentioned earlier, if Theodore can see it, chances are he's going to stop it. And he saw that one and subsequently made the save.
Yeah, very good glove hand on this guy, and you really can't take that away from him. Chris O'Sullivan, good shot. The defense gave O'Sullivan the line. He came in and fired another good shot on Theodore. Flames showing a lot of jump. We talked about the defense moving up into the play. O'Sullivan's been doing that most of the year, and good results are happening there. But boy, oh boy, he's got some shot, but Theodore once again rises to the occasion.
Chris O'Sullivan with both St. John goals tonight, leading the team with 8 of the 30 shots. Flames out shooting the Canadiens 30-26. Here's Gurin. In his own zone, takes a hit from Saint-Louis, and that allows Brigley to assume possession. He's bumped in the right corner by Morissette. Now Morissette hammers away at Brigley. Puck is within their skates. Landry comes up with it. Landry tried to force it back to the corner. It pops loose. Saint-Louis to the point. O'Sullivan with his shot. That one in front. And it ends up in Theodore's equipment. That was a weird shot that changed direction a couple of times before it made its way on net. And away from the play, Morissette is taking a boarding penalty.
Well, Moose is going to sit down for 2. I'm not sure what that puck hit or who hit it. Almost looked like Eric Landry deflected it with his hand, but don't have a replay on that, but it did change direction into Theodore. Two of the things that the Flames are doing extremely well tonight, and that is playing aggressive in the opposition zone. They're laying the body on a little bit more and coming out with the puck. And also, we saw a couple of shifts ago, playing very good and picking up that trailer. Greg Pankowitz doing a good job on defense tonight. But overall, as we've said time and time again, Flames playing a pretty complete game so far tonight.
Morissette boarding at 4:54, power play number 6 for the Flames. Earlier today in the first half of the doubleheader at Harbor Station, in high school hockey, St. Max routed St. John High 7-1. Aaron Kennedy and Steve Ryan at Harbor Station. Flames with a 2-1 lead. Pankowitz wins the draw. St. Louis to O'Sullivan. Right wing, St. Louis to the corner for Pankowitz. Back to St. Louis. And where's Eric Charron? Back in front of the net. O'Sullivan the shot. This time Theodore makes the save. And then Theodore comes out and has words for Eric Charron. So the Flames made some major league adjustments during that second intermission. We talked about the power play being broken up, and that's not always a good thing. But because it was a 4-on-3 and it was for so long, we thought that might play to the Flames' advantage. And now they come out to start the third with a 4-on-3 power play. Charron parked in front in 4. Now they have Charron parked in front again with Cooper and O'Sullivan on the point. Could be a new formula here that's successful. Yeah. O'Sullivan with another shot, his 9th of the night.
Absolutely, and Charron is really distracting Theodore also. He's getting him off his game.
Face off to Theodore's glove side, puck in front of the net, and Theodore will slap it to center. O'Sullivan is there. Flames with a 2-1 lead, a minute 40 to go in the penalty to Morissette. O'Sullivan dumps it in. Theodore out behind the net. Backhands it ahead. O'Sullivan keeps it in at the line. No, he doesn't. It was touched with a high stick. I didn't see that. And the faceoff will come all the way down into the St. John zone. That's what happens when you high stick the puck in the attacking zone on a power play.
Talking about the traffic that Eric Charron is showing Theodore in front, and we touched on it just for a second. You can get this guy off his game in any way, shape, or form. It can only do good things for you. He's very calm, cool, collected back there. Loads of confidence just coming down from the parent team in Montreal. But that's what you have to do. Show him a little trouble in front, get some screening, maybe a couple of taps on the pads. Try to get him off his game and thinking of the player in front. And that's exactly what Eric Charron has done here tonight so far.
Face-off is to Karpenko's left. A minute 34 to go in the penalty to number 34. Morissette. The Flames win the draw. They control in their own zone, and it's Martin St. Louis. Starting up ice, they skate it from our left to right. St. Louis to the Fredericton line, shoots in. Theodore out behind the net, backhands it away from St. Louis, right into the seats. That's a penalty, and that is an absolutely horrible play by Jose Theodore, and that's not the type of play you expect to see him make. Earlier this season, as Theodore gets some verbal trash talk from Eric Charron, earlier this season Matthew Garon did that twice in a row, and he was chastised in the media after the game by Michel Therrien. Theodore deserves similar criticism right here.
For sure, and I don't think he had to play that puck. There was control, and there was a defenseman back there. He could have either dropped it or just dumped it into the corner. But I think what we talked about, what is happening, he is getting off his game a bit. Jose Theodore is still a very good goaltender. You can't take that away from him, but certainly he hasn't had this pressure that Eric Charron is showing him in front. And as you mentioned earlier, Aaron, Charron skating by and doing a little trash talking to Mr. Theodore.
5:35 delay of game against Theodore, served by Gendron. 5-on-3 for the Flames for a minute 15. Charron in front of the net. O'Sullivan across. St. Louis, this shot. That one sails off the end glass. O'Sullivan has to hustle to keep in. He does. Shovels it to the corner. Landry back to Pankowitz. Pressured by Bocage. He'll roll it back to Landry. It's in behind the net. Charron can't get to it. Bouillon does. With time to clear, he gets it out. Karpenko out behind the St. John net will leave it for Chris O'Sullivan. Flames move from our left to right, leading 2-1 here in the third, looking to add to their lead. St. Louis over the Fredericton line, drops it for O'Sullivan. High slot, St. Louis skates away from Bouillon. Aggressive penalty killing by Fredericton. O'Sullivan in front. Landry is stopped by Theodore, and the rebound is cleared by Bouillon. That was a nice play. O'Sullivan spotting Landry at the side of the net. O'Sullivan back in his own zone for Pankowitz on the right side. Pankowitz, the shot just wide and not by much. on the glove side.
Whoa.
And it whistles the length of the ice. 15 seconds in the two-man advantage. O'Sullivan in his own zone. Captain sub power play once again. Landry on the left wing. Eric Landry spins away from Olsen, gives to O'Sullivan for Cooper's shot. Ripped it wide. O'Sullivan keeps it in at the Fredericton line. Back to Cooper. First penalty over. Cooper down low. Saloui on the right side. In front. O'Sullivan can't accept the pass. Olsen on his backhand plays it to the line, and O'Sullivan inadvertently backhanded it all the way into his own zone. Karpenko plays it off the boards. O'Sullivan, 25 seconds to go in the penalty to Theodore. Varlamov to the Fredericton line, dumps in. Theodore is out again. He'll whack it to the corner. Varlamov controls. Varlamov to the point. Ellick, the shot, saved by Theodore. He got the glove in front of that one once again.
Yeah, he certainly saw that shot. Good job by Mickey Ella moving toward the middle and getting that shot on Theodore, but possibly something that they needed there was a little more Eric Chiron or somebody. Chiron had a good shift. Very tired at the end of that shift in the power play and skated off, but good job by the Flames. Good control. They tried to get the puck from the defense down low, and a good job by Landry on getting the shot on, but Theodore once again coming up with a big save. He's played very well. He's had lots of pressure. Flames with 34 shots on Jose Theodore so far, compared with 26 from the Canadiens on Karpenko.
Face-off is to Theodore's left. That's his blocker side. 9 seconds to go in his penalty that's being served by Gendron. 12:35 to go in regulation time. St. John Flames 2, Fredericton Canadiens 1 from the draw. Bejean can't find it in his skates, and Hood will slap it the length of the ice. Karpenko out, leaving it for Scoville. The penalty to Theodore is over. Gendron's on the ice. And Gendron intercepts a pass, plays it for Loshkin. 3-on-1. Loshkin! Shot saved by Karpenko, and he knocks the rebound away. Now Gendron with a shot. Karpenko stops that one. Flames had to be more aware that Gendron was leaving the penalty box than they were. And it nearly cost them, but Karpenko made the save. That was a 3-on-1 from the blue line in. Back in his own zone, it's Loshkin. He is now playing on the top line with Gendron and Hood, and to be honest, that makes more sense. You're better off having Loshkin with these two guys than Boyd Olsen. Carrion shuffling his deck here with his team down 2-1 in the third. Here's a turnover at center. Healy moving in, wrist shot. Theodore got a piece of that one. Healthy bounce off the end boards. Theodore will scoop it up.
The Flames are going to have to be aware. You mentioned Hood, Gendron, and Loshkin now together, and they're down 2-1. They're definitely going to be playing a high man, and they'll be trying to get something going, moving that puck up the ice very quick. That is a line that can fly, and the Flames defense are going to have to be aware of them. Igor Karpenko has to let also his defenseman know when that penalty is finishing, and he's going to have to slap the stick. A little more communication by the Flames, and that's something they're going to obviously have to work on.
Rocky's Sports Bar in the shops of City Hall. Rocky's is the only game in town. Great spot to watch the fight tonight between Tyson and Botha. Rocky's Sports Bar in the shops of City Hall. From the faceoff, shot by O'Sullivan, turned away by Theodore. That's 10 shots in the game minimum for Chris O'Sullivan. Robida back in his own zone, heads up ice. Robida to center, into the Fredericton, or into the St. John zone. Robida on the right side, moves in behind the net. There'll be a penalty against St. John.
Well, Robida, we know what offense he can bring to this team. You know, being a defenseman, you don't expect him to be off the ice that much, but guys had a good set of wheels. He and Bully on the two fire hydrants. They can move the puck up rather quickly and causing a penalty there, and Flames going to be short-handed. Fredericton not very effective on the power play, but you know, sooner or later that's bound to break, and Flames going to have to be careful, especially if you get Hood and I'm not sure who's going out there now. It looks like Bocage and DeLille.
That'd be Gendron.
Yep. Gendron and DeLille. Certainly you're going to have to keep your eye on Hood. Very, very dangerous around the net.
O'Sullivan slashing at 8:40. It's Fredericton's first power play since late in the first. It's their fourth of the evening. Their power play the worst in the league. Flames haven't had as much time to kill on the penalties tonight. On Thursday, they were shorthanded 9 times, including 10.5 minutes, nearly 10.5 minutes in the second period. Darryl Scoville clears. He, Charon, Landry, and Saloui are the penalty-killing quartet. The Canadiens power play, Robida, Bouillon, Gendron, Hood, and DeLille. Robida, the puck carrier to the St. John line. He'll fire it in. It's off the glass, out of play. 11:03 remaining in regulation time. 2-1 St. John leads. Both teams are heading on the road. The Canadiens obviously are on the road with the women's hockey tournament this weekend at the Aiken Center. Canadiens play Monday afternoon in Portland, Wednesday in Lowell, Friday in Providence, and Saturday in Worcester. The Flames play Wednesday in Rochester, Friday and Saturday in Hamilton. Then after the All-Star break, they play Saturday, January the 30th in New Haven, and Sunday, January 31st, Super Bowl Sunday, they play a matinee in Portland. They'll actually stay in Portland to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday evening. Robida back in his own zone after the Flames clear. Robida carries it up ice. Baby Habs from our right to left. Robida chips it in. DeLille in the right wing corner. Tried to spin away from Landry. Gendron moves it behind the net. Eric Hood controls now to the corner. Right point. Stepan Robida across for Bouillon. Back to Robida. Winds. Dishes off. Scoville knocks it to the right corner. Hood in behind the net. Charon battles and knocks DeLille to the ice. Scoville chips it ahead. St. Louis can't get it past Bouillon. There's a shot and tipped by DeLille, and Karpenko made the save. Flames had a chance to clear, and they didn't get it out. Gendron sends it left point as he got creamed by Charon. Robida to Bouillon. Left side, Hood. Back to Bouillon. Shot! Wide into the right corner. Robida pinches down low. Centers. Nobody there to get his stick on the puck. Robida. Now Bouillon. Left side for DeLille. Robida on the right side in front. Broken up by Charon. It's loose. Robida, the shot. Save Karpenko. Robida on the rebound was dragged down by St. Louis. St. Louis out of gas. He'll slide it the length of the ice. Good job by the Flames on the penalty kill. And the Flames got away with one there as Robida was dragged down. 20 seconds to go in the penalty to O'Sullivan. Loshkin can't get to it. Odette fires it down ice. Theodore leaves it behind the Canadiens net. Miloslav Gurin takes charge. Canadiens trail 2-1. Gurin gains center. Lobs it into the right corner. Loshkin. Pressured by Cooper. Loshkin has the puck. Now for King. Penalty to O'Sullivan is over. Back to Loshkin. He sends it through the slot. And Healy comes up with it for the Flames. Up ice, O'Sullivan will flip it on net. Theodore way out. Turns it aside for Gurin. At center, it's Pankowitz for the Flames with 9 minutes remaining in the third. Gave it away to Alexei Loshkin. He's into the St. John zone. King in front. The shot. Toe saved by Karpenko. That one was deflected. King in the right corner for Loshkin. Centering. Gurin can't get the shot away. Gurin after it in behind the net. Controls left corner. Moves it for Houle. He's held by Ellick. Loshkin has the puck. Moves in front. Dishes off. Puck hooked away by Karpenko. Houle in the right corner. Hit by Ellick. Ellick falls on top of him. Puck is loose. Gurin behind the net for Loshkin. He's shifty. Now for Houle. Centers. That one hit the side of the net. Houle and O'Sullivan battling in the corner. Finally, Healy comes up with it and drives it off the boards and out. Petrovicki racing. Theodore came out to the corner. That negates the icing. Petrovicki in there after it. Theodore making some uncharacteristic mistakes. He knows he can't venture out of the crease this year. That negates the icing automatically. Now there'll be another one. Theodore's out there again, and icing is waved off. As Alain Nazardine knocks it away from Pankowitz for Sylvain Blouin. 7:55 remaining in the third. Flames 2, Canadiens 1. Blouin into the St. John zone. Sends the puck behind the net. Charon works it back off the boards. Blouin on the right side with a wrist shot. That one hit a body, dribbles wide. DeLille behind the net. Alain Nazardine the shot. Karpenko the save. And he somehow finds the puck and covers up.
Well, Igor Karpenko making some absolutely stupendous saves here with 7:35 left in the third period. His positioning has been right on the money in this last couple of minutes that Fredericton's had a huge amount of pressure. The Habs firing 35 shots on him now, and boy, there had to be 4 or 5 big saves in the last minute, and Karpenko shining again tonight, doing an absolutely great job. Both goaltenders playing very, very well.
And this is the Karpenko of old. At times this season, perhaps St. John fans were wondering who the man was behind that mask.
Well, he came in last year for those 4 games. Huge save percentage. I believe it was 9.5, 9.6. And tonight he's playing the way he did last year. He's zoned up. He's very warm. He knows what he's doing, playing with a whole bunch of confidence, and that certainly bodes well for the Flames. Flames wanting to have the confidence in Karpenko themselves, and he's certainly showing them that great play here tonight.
Face-off is to Karpenko, stick side, 7:35 remaining in regulation. Flames hanging on to a 2-1 lead off the face-off. Hussey the shot, Karpenko way out, makes the save as he challenges on that point shot from Hussey. The net is off of its moorings and play is blown down, and that's something that earlier in the year Karpenko wasn't doing enough of, but he comes way out there, and not only does it give the shooter less of an angle to try and score, but it also shows that the goaltender is confident, and he's not afraid to come out and charge and say, I dare you to beat me.
Yeah, it's good to say. It's good to see, and you know he has that confidence. You've got to make sure that you don't overcompensate. You don't come out too far. Came out maybe a little too far there. He was right out on that shooter and didn't give that defenseman anything to see at all. But boy, this guy is, as we said earlier, zoned up tonight, playing extremely confident. Very happy with the way he moves from side to side, and he's doing that a lot better. More at the first of the year, he was throwing himself down. Right now, he's moving with the puck very well, following the shooters, and you get anything in the slot, Karpenko is going to have a pretty good beat on you.
A moment ago, those of you who were watching on TVMB saw the intensity in Greg Pankowitz's eyes, playing his third game in a St. John uniform. Face-off is to Karpenko's stick side. Off the face-off, here's Healy on a breakaway from center. Healy against Theodore, backhand, and the save is made by the Fredericton goaltender as that appeared to be going into the net, and somehow Theodore kept it out. Now it's Healy in behind the net, forced off the puck by Alain Nasruddin. That was like a penalty shot. He was on a breakaway from center, and Theodore makes the save, and a huge stop it was as the Flames were looking to add to their lead. And the fans seated in front of us nearly faked me out because they reacted as if it was in.
It looked like it was going into me too, yeah.
Here's Scoville to center. Steps into the Fredericton zone for Healy. He had his stick hooked neatly by Gendron, and the Canadiens transition up ice 2-on-2. Hood in front, Karpenko plays it off the high glass, just the top of it, avoiding a penalty as the puck bounces to Chris Clark. He's into the Fredericton zone. He lost an edge and falls, and Gurin controls behind the Canadiens' net. Great action here, 6:20 remaining in regulation. 2-1, the Flames lead. Loshkin has the Fredericton goal into the St. John zone for King on the left side. King crunched by Ellick. Shot is taken from the boards by Loshkin. Karpenko makes the save. King in the right corner. King drops it for Houle. He's checked by Ellick. Houle gets it back. Houle in the right circle. Left side, King in front. Loshkin tried to redirect it, but Petrovicki was guarding him closely, and Varlamov plays it to center. 5:48 remaining in regulation. Flames 2, Canadiens 1. Here's King moving in. Can't hold it in at the line. Hussey at center. Lays it for Gurin. Gurin skates back into his own zone, knocks it away from Petrovicki. Charon off the boards, forces it away, but Loshkin now has it. He'll drive it in. That one hits Charon in the shins. This is offside against the Canadiens with 5:26 remaining in a tremendous game here at Harbor Station. Shots are even at 37 aside.
Well, neither team letting up. Flames going, still playing aggressive hockey, as evidenced by that breakaway by Healy. A great save by Jose Theodore as he goes to the backhand. Theodore takes it on the upper pad, and it looked like it was going to roll into the net on the fly, but great save once again by Theodore. A good job of getting Healy in the open, and a little bit of a confrontation down here. St. Louis and Sylvain Blouin. A little difference in size there.
And Jody Shelley, who hasn't had a shift in this third period, the quintessential team guy, jumps to his feet and barks at Blouin, who's only about 10 feet away on the ice.
Why wouldn't he? Sure, that's it. And Eric Charon, who's played a great game tonight, also up there barking at him. Good move.
Shelley and Cowan have not seen any ice here in the third period. They're the Flames' fourth line. Here's Brett Clark moving into the St. John zone, gets the puck behind the net. St. Louis on his backhand, turns to the forehand, moves it for Landry. Landry out to center. Brigley's offside over two lines. He elects not to play it. Clark moves it ahead for Blouin, who's checked off the puck by Landry. Cooper ahead for St. Louis on the right side. St. Louis into the Fredericton zone. St. Louis dishes off Landry in front. Didn't expect the pass, and I don't know how St. Louis ever got free. in order to dish it off. Bocage has it for the Canadiens. Ahead for Sylvain Blouin, the former Hartford Wolf Pack. Into the St. John zone. Shot saved Karpenko. He didn't know where it was, but it's played to the boards. St. Louis has it. 4:44 remaining in the third. 2-1 St. John. Here's Robitaille center into the Flame zone. He's knocked down by Cooper. Cooper looking to the referee, wondering if he was going to be penalized. Now Cooper plays it up ice. Nazardine, that's Alain Nazardine, gets it to Asham. Knocked off the puck. Here's Blouin. He didn't see Landry moving in. Landry on the right side, centers. Nazardine plays that one to the corner. Flames got the chance there because Blouin was focused on going to the bench and he didn't see Landry skating towards him. Now Nazardine loses it at the St. John line and Chris Clark fires it off the boards. Hussey now for Hood. Hood offside as he made a move to his left and Hussey was in ahead of the puck at the St. John blue line. 3:59 remaining in period number 3. Flames lead 2-1. O'Sullivan has both St. John goals. Loshkin has the Fredericton tally.
Well, Fredericton trying to mount an attack here, but the Flames doing a very, very good job clogging up that neutral zone. All forwards coming back, doing a good job of staying on their checks. Defense standing up and really making Fredericton make the play at the blue line. But overall, good D by the St. John Flames right now.
Biggest crowd of the season at Harbor Station, 5,332, 5,332. And they've enjoyed every minute of this one. It doesn't matter which team you're rooting for. The Canadiens at center. Hood plays it into the St. John zone. Chiron plays it out. Bégin can't come up with it. Hood has it, waits for Ashton to get on side, and Hood drives it in behind the net. Gendron got knocked down by Chris Clark away from the play. Puck in the right wing corner in the St. John zone. Hood drops it for Asham. Asham now for Mark Hussey. Hussey centers. Karpenko knocks it away. And Chiron sends it off the boards. And this will be an icing against St. John with 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the third. Coming up, the Flames and the Rochester Americans as the Flames open a 5-game road trip. They play 13 of 17 on the road. And whenever the Flames play on the road, you can win on Rocky's Trivia, a presentation of Rocky Sports Bar in the shops of City Hall. Rocky's is the only game in town. I'm Aaron Kennedy along with Steve Ryan at Harbor Station. We've had fun bringing this one to you tonight on Baxter's Flames Hockey on Country 94 and on Saturday Night Sports on TVNB. Special hello tonight to Francois Leblanc, who's providing the play-by-play in French on KVNB. He actually listens to us, that must be a real treat, and then tries to translate what's going on. King with a shot from the right circle that whistles wide. Bouillon's points last, kicked out by Karpenko. Landry has it for the Flames, and he'll play it to St. Louis. Martin St. Louis. Ahead on the left side, Landry hustles after it. Landry to the corner, plays it through the slot to the right side. St. Louis is there. He's knocked down by Bouillon. The fans disapprove of that action. Loshkin to center. Into the St. John zone, Alexei Loshkin. Knocked off the puck. Ellick ahead. St. Louis will skate after it. He's tripped by Loshkin. No call. Here's Pankowitz in front. Brigley. Shot! Oh, Theodore got a piece of that one. It's Brigley. Had a great chance in front, and Travis Brigley somehow was unable to score. Now St. Louis in front. Pankowitz backhands it just wide. And Travis Brigley is in a major league slump. 9 games without a goal. And he cusses as he makes his way to the St. John bench. That was a glorious chance. 2 minutes to go. Flames 2, Fredericton 1. Flames can't get the puck out at the line. Cooper knocks Bocage down. In front, Gendron tripped up by Pankowitz. Odette pressures Gendron in the corner. Pankowitz has the puck with time. He'll chip it behind the net. Cooper is after it. Cooper gets it ahead to Petrovicki. They can't clear. Bocage with a shot. It's off the end glass in behind the net. Centered by Gendron. It's loose. Hood with a backhand. It squirts to the corner. Bocage now for Hood behind the net. Gendron. Gendron back to Hood in the right corner. 1.5 minutes to play. Theodore still in the net. Bocage on the right side. The puck hit the referee, Joannette. That's a break for the Flames. Odette, though, can't get it out. Oh, it was gloved ahead. Robida gloving that one ahead to Bocage, and the play is blown down.
Wow, furious action. Fredericton putting on some good pressure and being a little scrambly, but the Flames really, you could see the effort, everyone diving, and total team effort by this squad tonight. And just what an exciting hockey game. Great for the fans. They've been really, really treated to a great game here tonight so far.
It's January the 16th, but you'd swear
Playoff
it
hockey.
was May.
Absolutely.
Michelle Therrien isn't happy. Neither is Rick Vive. Vive has summoned Mark Joannette to the St. John bench. Not sure if there was an incident behind the Fredericton bench, but Therrien appeared to be pointing up towards the crowd as Vive and Joannette converse. A minute 19 to go in regulation. The faceoff is outside the St. John blue line after the Canadiens were called for the glove-to-head pass. Now, I don't think Therrien wants to spend his timeout here. He's going to take an unofficial timeout. Now Joannette comes over and says, "Do you want a timeout? If not, let's go." But Therrien's Canadiens are taking their sweet old time, and who can blame them?
Yeah, they'd certainly like to wait till they get the puck face-off in the St. John end. Minute 19, you can expect Theodore, if they get control and get it into the St. John end, he'll be going off for the extra attacker. But certainly great pressure by Fredericton here late in the third period. Flames holding on to this 2-1 lead.
Minute 19 to play. Off the face-off. Bégin wins it, and controlling it is Scoville. He'll play it ahead for Bégin. He'll backhand it into the Fredericton zone. Theodore leaves it behind the net for Gurin. Theodore will be bolting for the bench as the Canadiens head up ice. Bocage taken down by Bégin. Robida has it. Steps away from Healy. Therrien waits feverishly. Theodore heads to the bench. 55 seconds left. All hands on deck for the Canadiens. Pass to the point. Sails past Gurin. Here's Chris Clark racing after him. Clark wins the battle into the right wing corner, and he has the puck pinned against the end boards. Great job by Clark. He'd love to get a whistle. He's hanging on for dear life against 3 Fredericton players. Now Healy has it on the left side. Still an empty Fredericton net. 30 seconds left. Healy on the left wing boards. Now Bégin shoots for the open net. It skips off a corner. Clark turns, fires. That one is stopped by Gurin. 20 seconds left. Flames hanging on. Gurin ahead for Sylvain Blouin. Blouin shot saved by Karpenko. 10 seconds left. Blouin on the left wing. Backhands it behind the net. Hood in front. Can't get the shot away. Blouin to the point. One last chance. Robida. Gendron. Game over. Flames win.
Whoa.
And it's rather spooky, but for the first time since Halloween, the St. John Flames have won back-to-back games, a 40-save performance from Igor Karpenko, and a pair of goals from Chris O'Sullivan, and it's a 2-1 win in a wildly entertaining game between the Fredericton Canadiens and St. John Flames at Harbor Station.
Well, I would have to say that that is without a doubt the most entertaining game that we've, and certainly the fans, have seen here at Harbor Station this year. Good effort, great effort by both teams. Good goaltending, spirited fights, very good offense, strong defense. Everyone played 100%. And boy, both teams certainly can't hang their heads down after this game. A great hockey game overall.
And how about the work of a guy like Chris Clark, who's now gone 12 games without a goal at the end, keeping the puck deep in the Fredericton zone. You would have thought it was the Flames who were pressing for the equalizer with the pressure that they had there late in the game.
Well, a great job by Chris Clark. He played pretty well tonight. He brought his game up to where it should be, and that is aggressive play. Clark, Bégin, and Healy, I thought that line played well in a checking effort tonight. Overall, I think all 3 lines for the Flames played very well, as did a few lines for the Fredericton Canadiens. But wow, what a great game overall, spirited as we talked about, and fans really got their money's worth tonight.
The 3 stars of tonight's game, the 3rd star from the Baby Habs is Jose Theodore, and he is not taking a curtain call tonight, and the first 2 stars will be Flames. Igor Karpenko is star number 2. And he gets a tremendous ovation from the fans here at Harbor Station. And Chris O'Sullivan will be star number 1. agree with those selections.
Absolutely.
Karpenko number 2, but O'Sullivan had 12 shots in the game and both goals. It's tough to argue with either of those selections, O'Sullivan and Karpenko. You could easily flip-flop them, but the 3 stars, O'Sullivan number 1, Karpenko number 2, and Theodore star number 3 tonight in a thrilling playoff-like atmosphere here at Harbor Station. We will continue with our post-game show in a moment on Baxter's Flames Hockey on Country 94. For those of you tuned in to Saturday Night Sports on TVMB, we hope you've enjoyed tonight's action from the station. Flames over the Canadiens 2-1. Now with more during our post-game show on TVMB. Here are Barry Johnson and Jim Hennessy. 2-1 Flames over the Canadiens. More in a moment on Baxter's Flames Hockey.
Igor Karpenko right there now. What else can you say? The guy stopped 40 shots out of 41 that he faced. One of them goes by him. It's not really his fault. You know, he bound to let one in. But, I mean, the Flames just played phenomenal tonight. They're on a roll now. We never thought we'd ever say that in the last few games anyway. They're on a roll on the opposite end of the scale. They're on an 8-game losing streak. Exactly. Now they're on a 2-game winning streak.
Well, you look at the past month and the way they played, no hurt, no commitment, nobody really jumping around and taking a good shot or trying to score. No conservative effort there. All of a sudden, back-to-back games, one in overtime, 3-2. Now all of a sudden, this great game against Fredericton. I mean, a week ago, who would have thought that the outcome could have been like this? I mean, you just wouldn't think it. They played an all-around great game. Igor Karpenko, in my opinion, should have been the first star of the game. O'Sullivan, yeah, a couple of goals. You got to give a little bit of credit to him, but just an all-around great team effort. Rick Five, Jeff Perry need to be congratulated, and the Fredericton Canadiens. Jose Theodore with another great performance tonight. Just end up the buck short.
Well, you know, you and I both noticed one of the players tonight that really picked up his game was Eric Charron. He played really well tonight. Cooper, he wasn't too bad. He didn't get a whole lot of ice time. They kind of opted for Matt Odette to play. It seemed like in place of Cooper, but all defensemen played really well tonight. Eric Landry was playing an awesome game tonight. He was under the Canadian skin so much tonight that you just, like, you had to be here to realize how bad he was under their skin because they hated him. He was one of those guys, you love to have him on your team, but you hate to play against him.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just a real good atmosphere here tonight. The fans were into it. I mean, we've seen the wave going around here, and I don't know when the last time we've seen the wave in Harbor Station.
It's been a long time.
The only way we've seen was the wave of goaltenders going back and forth here, it seemed. But no, it was a really good game tonight. The fans enjoyed it. Excuse me. I enjoyed it, and also now the Flames are sitting with 36 points, and if my memory serves me correctly, they're only 1 point behind. I believe Fredericton right now for second place.
Your memory would be correct, sir. They've, they put together a couple of big wins here. It would have been interesting to see if they had played last night against Lowell, what the outcome would have been. But it looks like that extra night off paid off. They came out here. Eric Charron, we got to make mention of that because we talked about it the entire game. His game has just turned around a huge notch. Last couple of weeks, he's just been non-existent out on the ice. He's got a good reason to wear that C tonight because he was a good leader out there. He was banging, crashing, trying to get. He was playing a little bit of the instigator role himself, but Eric Landry, you're absolutely right. Rick Vive and Jeff Perry, I think, came to him before the game and said, if you're going to get under someone's skin, get under everybody's. And he did exactly that. And they took a couple of bad penalties, and the Flames capitalized on most of that time.
The Flames fired 39 shots at Jose Theodore. He saw 37 of them, which is not a bad night. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen the Flames put 37 shots at anybody, let alone the opposition. I mean, they faced 37 or more shots themselves. So it proved really good. I mean, we had a total of 78 shots in this game. That's a high total. We had good end-to-end action here, and overall, I think everybody in here tonight has gone home happy. The Flames are happy. Everybody it's just an awesome atmosphere in here tonight. It's almost like winning the Calder Cup in here tonight. It was just that, everybody was just up for it. Everybody was cheering. We even heard the chant of Igor.
Exactly.
We haven't heard that since the first time he come here and won 3 games back to back. So, anyway. Any final comments, Jim?
Well, the Flames got to keep playing with this kind of intensity. I mean, you're getting into the All-Star break soon. That's a long stretch of time off. I mean, they'd like to be able to keep that momentum rolling and keep going, but going to take a little break, heal up some of the wounds. Hopefully they can come back after the All-Star game and keep playing this way.
Well, that's it from Harbor Station. We wrap it up. For Jim Hennessy, I'm Barry Johnson. Have a good night.